Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready. Nuclear missile ready.
Oh, hello everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Let me just activate my webcam over there. Here we go. That should be... There we are. It's me. And of course Snoopy with me as well. How you doing, my man? How you doing? Yeah, I am. I got some nice sleep in, you know. We're starting a lot later today, so it's easier for me in my sleeping schedule. I can actually sleep in nice and late this way. For you, it's still a little bit early, of course, but you mentioned you were already awake for a couple of hours, so you shouldn't be too troubled, right? Nice. Clem doesn't need sleep, honestly. The previous time, remember? They can't hear you? Oh, wait. Oh, there we go. Okay. That should fix it.
Hey, I hope you guys can hear me now. Let us know in the chat.
You should be able to hear you, yeah. Yeah, I can see why they couldn't hear you. Forgot to press the button. Alright, anyway.
You had the muzzle on me.
Exactly. Just my personal little Snoopy talk in my ear. In fact, there's actually no sushi. I'm just schizophrenic today. I didn't get any sleep, that's why. I did guess. Well, anyway, yeah, there we go. You see, can hear now. Everything is fine. We got it covered. Alright, so, yeah, welcome everybody. Welcome to another stream of the Alpha X communities, I suppose. How would we call it? A team, mostly, right? We're a big class of individuals helping together to try and get everything sorted for well, StarCraft 2 in particular. We don't do any other games. We've thought about branching out now and again into something else, but you know, there's just so much passion for StarCraft 2, especially in our community, that we never really did. We're just you know what, fully focused on StarCraft 2. And that's pretty cool in my book, because it's my favorite game. Especially when I'm not playing it on ladder. And
it's also my favorite game. I mean, 10 years playing, it's you got to be pretty committed and passionate about it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, we have of course we have players, we have a graphic designer, we have, you know, managers, all sorts of managers of the Discords, of the social medias, of just hosting events. it is pretty nuts how many people are actually working behind the scenes overall. I know I'm often on the screen and stuff like that, but I do relatively very little. Honestly, I think I just kind of sit here, I talk stuff, and maybe that does consume up more time in particular, but you know what, it's not really work in my opinion, you know what I mean? It's not really,
Well,
if that makes
no, I
sense.
think you do a lot for the team. I mean, you cast a bunch of our events, long MVP cups as well. I
Hmm.
mean, yeah. So don't sell yourself short. You do a lot.
I don't know. Yeah, it's just all fun to me, you know. So it doesn't really feel like I do a lot, and sometimes it does feel a little bit as well. Like, you know, how would you say this? It's like I get the fun parts, you know, and then everybody else is just kind of doing all the busy work, all the stuff that is needed to be done in the back scene as well. And I'm just very grateful for everybody, kind of helping out in that sense. And yeah, thank you all as well, of course, for continuing to support us, continuing to support us through well, the Twitch subs either, or just following, or the Patreon page, all those good stuffs, you know. And yeah, I'm hoping we can grow this into something that can last for a lot longer time, of course, and that will stand the test of time, and something we can keep at it for a lot longer. All right.
Def-
So yeah, that's just my little emotional spiel there for a moment. Anyway, we're going to be having some great StarCraft here today as well. We hope to have a bunch of people to, you know, bring us some great matches. Of course, we have none other than the favorite to win the tournament here today. As you can see, the group. I don't know if you guys already saw Zest, Innovation, Clem, and Estrella. Now, of course, the favorite being the obvious pick, Estrella, here to move on through first. As we witnessed the previous time as well, you know, we underestimated him. Not gonna happen again. Estrella will definitely take that first place. It's gonna be a tough one, of course. Maybe a little bit tougher than the previous one. Let's see. In the previous group, though, he was in a group with Trap, TY, and Elaser. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but people say Trap is about as good as Zest. They're a little bit different in playstyle, but you know what? Overall, they are both kind of considered to be top 1, top 2 Protoss, and then sometimes people switch them around. Maybe with the Deer thrown in there as well, and Parting maybe coming up on the rise as well. But probably, you know what? Parting needs to be a bit more consistent. We'd love to see him a couple more times. Anyway, and then Innovation. A lot of people kind of put Innovation and TY in the same boat, right? Clem as well, kind of nibbling on the heels of those top pro Korean Terrans that you kind of expect to have all sorts of stuff happening pretty soon, right? Clem just continuously to improving here. But overall, I mean, it's not much more stacked than it was the previous time here for Estrella. So if he manages to just get those games going as he did the previous time around, I believe, man. I believe he can have definitely make some waves here. And that would be really fun to see for Alpha X people.
Yeah, for sure.
Is an Alpha Xer, of course. What do you think of the group today?
Well, I wouldn't underestimate Australia only because I feel like his PvP has been always solid. So even though he's going up against a beast like Zest, I feel like he still has a chance to kind of pull off a win.
Yeah.
And then Clem Innovation, I still have to give the edge to Innovation there, but Clem has been showing some really nice results as of late. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt him for sure as well.
Yeah, the one problem I might have on the matchup of Innovation versus Zest, or I mean Innovation versus Clem, is that Clem's TVT might not be the strongest matchup of his right now, right? We saw him playing against Dream, I believe, the previous time. Was that Dream? It was, right? Am I going crazy? Yeah, it was Dream. All right, so yeah, he did go down 2-0 against Dream. Now, Dream, he is pretty tough in the TVT matchup, but I'd say Innovation a little bit better than Dream overall, right? So
Yeah, I think Clem is more known for his TVZ instead.
yeah,
So
TVP I'd say as well, honestly. He's doing real
yeah,
good with that one. I think we saw him play some... Yeah, he played against Zaun the previous time, and he made that look easy, honestly. And Sound has been known to beat Innovation, so maybe Clem's TVP is better than the TVP of Innovation. Who knows? Who knows? Or it might be on par, right? Could be. It could be. Anyway, let's start this day off with a bunch of PvP, first and foremost. I say a bunch, it's just three, a best of three. A best of three. Let's see who can take this title. Alright, Snoopy, who do you have your eye on here to introduce?
Let's go ahead and start with the bottom right. In the bottom right side of the map is the red Protoss from the team of Alpha X. It is Australia.
There we have him in the top left side. There's that blue Protoss. From Razor Edge Gaming. He is Zest. One of the two Koreans here today. Oh, I have been seeing more and more often people saying, you know what, Zest might not be the best. Used to always be Zest's best, but I don't know. It feels like he's still getting amazing results, right? He's still playing like an absolute beast in a lot of series, a lot of tournaments, but he's just not getting those massive runs. You know, maybe just Home Story Cup is where he always still manages to shine. But yeah, with nothing happening offline as much, maybe that is a difficulty for him, right? Maybe that's what is troubling him, perhaps. I don't know for certain. But he does seem to kind of ramp his overall skills up a little bit on the offline tournament scene with nice big audiences and such.
Well, no matter what his results are, I think a lot of people would agree that he's usually almost always best dressed as at the very least. I mean, if you see his kind of those player photos, you know, standing by himself with the transparent background, he's always got some nice like coat or jacket of some sort. Says his hair's on point, so I'll give him best dressed if even though he's not, I guess, dominating the scene like we saw him a few months back.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's become a bit more unpredictable, I guess, to say kind of in a way, right? We're not quite certain what Zest will bring to the table in any series anymore. And, well, here as well. Again, we're gonna have to wait and see in this PvP, a very volatile matchup. Can go both ways. And, I mean, I was praising Astray at the start of this, but we have to remember that PvP that he won against Trap, it was a 2-0. But, I mean, the first one, he kind of won right on Golden Wall. There was a little bit of a mind game going on where he mined out the middle minerals. And then Trap spent a whole boatload of time trying to figure out what the hell was happening there. And then when he came across the map, Estrella already kind of had that second Nexus going for a while. So managed to get a couple of resources from that. And then, honestly, I do feel like it was a little bit the fault of Trap to not have his Warp Prism in a good position, right? It actually did get sniped, and I don't feel like it should have been sniped. Oh my dear lord.
Oh boy.
GG. Okay. Alright, well, that just happens. The funny thing is that he just tried to do that on the other side as well at the exact same time, and it was like... Okay... I mean, yeah, that's just not supposed to happen, of course. You don't want to have two adapts in your main base. I can kind of get why you instantly GG in that situation. It's going to be rough. It's going to be rough. All right, anyway, we're going to go into game number 2, that means. And yeah, that makes me a little bit worried here for Astray already.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Losing a game like that so quickly.
Exactly. Are you not entertained? Man, oh man. Alright, well, yeah, and then to go on my previous point, right, the second game Astray I had against Trap was kind of a build order win, I would say, right? We had the Stargate opening versus the Robotics opening, a Warp Prism from Trap that just got absolutely denied from doing anything and then picked off immediately as well, losing quite a lot of units. Then he went for the attack, but then already, of course, kind of behind on that work, or the overall army count. And the Phoenixes, that could just lift up the Immortals, no problem whatsoever. And yeah, that kind of felt, again, a little bit like, alright, well, Estrella, of course, he had to play well to get himself to that point, but it wasn't necessarily outskilling his opponent. It was more so like, you know, the rock, paper, scissors scenario that you sometimes have in these mirror matchups, especially in the early parts of the game.
Yeah, I think a lot of PvPs are kind of dependent on the build order chosen by both the players. And
Yeah.
then, you know, if they, you know, counter each other, like, you know, Stargate kind of on paper counters Robo, Twilight on paper counters Stargate. So it's a kind of a revolving door, and it's kind of a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, well, we'll try this one again, guys. We'll try again. Here we have in the bottom right side a red Ro8 fighting for Alpha X. The American, he is Estrella.
And spawning at the top left, you have the blue Protoss player from Raise Your Edge Gaming. It is Zest.
So yeah, it's obviously not a series that we were really hoping for there, or at least the start of the day. I remember wasn't it the previous time that we cast it was with innovation versus stats, right? Versus stats. Oh my dear lord, that day was absolutely nuts. If you haven't watched that day, definitely go check it out, man. Those series were incredible. Don't go check them out right now. Just wait until the end of the cast, of course, and then we'll have a little bit of a moment of time there. I don't think there's too much else happening anyway today, right?
Yeah, I don't think. Well,
otherwise, just lie. Come on.
Yeah.
Nothing happening. Just go watch those ones.
Absolutely nothing.
That's right. Anyway, alright, so we do see two pylons here, kind of on the same locations. Not quite sure if this is for any type of a proxy, guys. Mostly just spotting pylons for later on in the game. And of course, if you hide that first pylon, your opponent will have to kind of take into consideration that there is a possibility that something is being proxied. So, kind of forcing the overall probe scouting to go around the map here. If, you know what, your opponent does scout that, you only have that one pylon in your base.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a mind game of some sort. It's like where you trick your opponent and they kind of get a little bit frantic and start scouting everywhere on their side of the base. Yeah, but unfortunately, it's actually just a random pylon out there.
Exactly, yeah, no, so Zest, he's staying cool. He's not really overreacting here or anything. As you should. He's gonna go for the pylon at the front door as well. We'll see that, in fact, there were adepts made. Now, something I've always kind of wondered, what is the exact difference that you would do if you see the adepts instead of the stocks? Is it just mainly because then you know you have to pay attention to your front door?
Yeah, that and also you can actually throw down your Nexus a bit quicker, knowing that there's no stalker to put pressure on you.
Alright.
Because the depths doesn't really do too much damage to buildings. But here we go.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
You're kidding. Yes. Are we gonna have another GG? Please let it end the same. I mean, this would kind of be funny, right? If this actually happens this way. Oh my god. Well, I guess that shows that Estrella is in fact as good as Zest here. Will be able to get himself a nice couple of kills. Zest, though, not immediately tapping out just yet. Still comfortable. No, a little bit more confidence. He might be able to finish this one off into his favor. Ultimately, maybe recover in some other way later on in the game. But yeah, of course, this is not a great start. Losing those sentries. Did he lose 2 or did he lose 1? He in fact lost 2. That's a lot of gas. That is a boatload of gas. And also 4 workers. So yeah, a little bit behind on that department as well.
And with the snipe sentry, that means no hallucinated scout anytime soon for Zest, as well as any kind of guardian shield or force field energy later on into the fight. So that's actually pretty critical.
Yeah, and Estrella, of course, did have the possibility to get that scout, managing to get it nicely there. We'll have that probe in location. Oh my dear lord, he's gonna go for the snipes on the sentries here. In fact, almost one-shotting the sentries there. But the shield battery definitely helping out a little bit. Losing 2 so far. Might lose a 3rd one here. Okay, the shield battery once again coming to aid. Okay, came out on top on that one. 4 adepts for the 2 sentries. More gas intensive for Astrea, I suppose, but still. It's kind of a bit more equal trade, I suppose. Oh my dear lord. Is that a number 1 or NL? You just donated $5. Thank you so much, my man.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Very much appreciated indeed. It's kind of weird that it doesn't actually show up on the activity feeds. NK? Is it NK, NL? Is it the entirety of the Netherlands? Is this the Dutch government, in fact? Watching StarCraft 2 and being like, you know what, these guys, they deserve a bit of the taxes that the Dutch people pay.
I heard a rumor you were Dutch.
Ah, it's a lie. It's a complete lie.
Well, we do see a kind of the mirror build here coming out of both players, both getting Robo and get Blink. But this, oh, it looks like we have actually a little Dark Shrine play come here out of Australia. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get some DT sneaky plays in. However, Zest already have his Robo building, so he should be safe as long as he built that Observer.
Yeah, for sure. And then, of course, you can always get the, the Dark Templar transformed into Archons will definitely help out quite a bit as well. It also, like, just having that Dark Shrine, I suppose, does force Zest to make more Observers, right? More Observers means less Immortals, and less Immortals means less of a fire punch in your overall army composition. And that on its own already is pretty good, right? Because you need to have multiple Observers if you are facing off against those Dark Templar.
Oh, it does get scouted, so Zest already know what's up. He's already making a second Observer just in case. So this is not going to really do too much for Australia, which sets him a little bit behind as his that's less gas for Immortals and upgrades.
That's as well, yeah. Right. We'll have to see how much he really commits to it, of course. He might just start using them now as the Archon. I'm not quite sure if he really saw the hallucinated Phoenix fly over the Dark Shrine. I would assume that he did, but oh boy, this could be bad. Sad seeing that War Prism just barely on the edge there of the vision range, managing to escape here. That was very close, but you know what? Astrea finds her way in on the right side here. Seeing that army movement from Zest on the bottom side, we'll be able to pick off this Nexus. Well, gets a cancel. A big blink though, right on top of the Stalker army. Does lose a couple of them. That's a nice pick of that for Astrea, I'd say.
Yeah, that's going to set Zest's economy really behind because that Nexus is actually pretty close to being complete. So now with that third down, you gotta wonder, is Zest going to go all in or if he's going to rebuild it? It looks like he's going to choose to rebuild it and rely on his Blink micro to kind of get some sort of edge to even out the playing field.
He immediately jumps right on top of that Dark Shrine. Does give him a bit of ease of mind here. There's already a Dark Templar available though. Look at that in that main base. Just a single one, but you know what? That's a 9 kill. No, actually 6 kill Dark Templar here. Well, we also have an engagement in the middle of the map. I'm not quite sure. Astrea doesn't have the Stalker forces really to engage here, but you know, it's still going for it. Only now having an Immortal join in. Not sure if I like that one.
Yeah, that was a pretty risky move there by Australia. I think he was hoping that his charge light would eat some of the damage by the Stalkers, but with some nice kiting and with some nice micro, Zest has been able to save pretty much all the Stalkers. And now, here we go. He's going to go ahead and get on top of this Immortal. There's actually only one Immortal here. This War Prism going to get sniped down by these Stalkers, but there's just so much left still for Zest on the ground. Kozen, I'm not sure he can hold on right here.
Yeah, it's a bit too much, honestly. We do have another War Prism here coming in, but that's immediately sniped off as well by Zest. Yeah, that's just trouble, man. Just wasn't enough, and I think a lot of this comes back to that fight that Astrea took earlier, right? Just took a bit too many losses. Oh, underestimated the overall Stalker count of his opponents. Now definitely paying the price for it. 17 workers gone down so far, so even if all these Blink Stalkers now suddenly disappear, Zest is still going to find himself in an absolutely wonderful position, but Yeah, I've never really seen stocks disappear unless if I was in what you call it, Las Vegas, near some sort of a magic act that was StarCraft themed. Never really been there myself though, but I would imagine somewhere like that would be the only place where you would be able to see all those stocks suddenly disappear without getting any more damage done. And yeah, that means that Zez does take the first initial match here. Estrella having to go into the losing match. On the verge of elimination. Is going to have to wait and see if he has to play against either Innovation or Clem. Both of which, of course, rather scary, I'd say.
Yeah, although I would say Austria probably hoping that Clem will be going down to the losers versus losers match instead of Innovation, because Innovation is just so strong.
Yeah, maybe. It really is. Yeah, it's true. It's true. Clem as well, though. To be fair, he might just. I'm not sure how much he cares about the ping towards NA server, which is the other thing, of course. So maybe he would like to have Innovation just because he can avoid that then, but I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure. But yeah, overall, if you would have the choice, I think so, yeah, probably you would pick Clem over Innovation here, but yeah, I think, you know, it's quite likely that he will get to play against Clem. Clem's TVT, really not as, at the same level when you compare it to his TVP and his TVZ.
I like how Miguel is like fanboying over Clem right here in the chat.
Yeah. He really is a big fan, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a bit embarrassing for the rest of us.
Yeah, he's got like a skill level chart, which is pretty funny. He's got everyone at F, and he's got Cero at E, and then he's got Clem at A.
Yeah.
That's pretty hardcore fan there.
Yep. We're all trying to be cool. We're all trying to be like, oh, what's up, Clem? Hey, man, what's up? And he's like, you're a monster. Holy shit, you're crazy. Some people would say, oh, my God. But yeah,
You're
anyway.
the best. Can I get an autograph?
Exactly. Oh well. It just shows the passion, right? Burning in Miguel's overall stomach acid. Because the French have a lot of that. With all that cheese they eat. Anyway. Yeah, thank you all for watching, guys. We're going to be moving onwards with the TVT coming up here. Innovation versus Clem. I don't think Clem is not going to be able to take any games off of Innovation, right? If you let them play long enough, ultimately Clem will win a best of 3 somewhere in the, you know, if they keep playing, right? He's going to win 2 games in a row somewhere, or at least win 1, lose 1, win another one, right? But overall, in that sequence, if you let them, like, play 100 times, I think you're going to find many more moments where in even, you know, the best of 3, you're going to say, like, all right, it's going to be Innovation win, Innovation win, Innovation win, Clem win, Innovation win, maybe Clem win, but then a couple of Innovation wins, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but so what's your ultimate prediction here on the score in this upcoming series?
Oh,
Who you got?
for Clem. Yeah, for sure. Oh, by the way, guys, I just got notified there. It's in fact also a survey quest that you can do. So if you live in the USA or Canada, on the Matcherino page, there's this little survey. I myself can't do it because I am American. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to lie myself out of this one. Anyway, yeah, if you live in the USA or Canada, then go check it out. Go on the Matcherino page and you will be able to fill in that survey. And it's going to add a full buck to the prize pools. So yeah, if we all get that sorted out, all the US people kind of roaming around in the chat right now, link it to your friends as well, right? Might as well get more money into esports. It doesn't cost you anything, just a couple of clicks. And that's it. That's it. So all it is that is supposed to happen.
And then in addition, there's also other sponsor quests that you can do. And then if you want to actually get the replays to this entire tournament.
Hmm.
You can go ahead and purchase it for $10 and have all the replays as well as contribute to the overall prize pool as well.
Yep. Yep. It's $10, but you are supporting the tournament quite a bit in that sense, and also you are getting yourself a full 7 days worth of StarCraft 2 in professional replays, right? So,
Yeah, if you want to go ahead and download the replays and then learn how to proxy Nexus, you can watch the first game of Stats versus Innovation.
you want to know how to
Learn
counter the proxy nexus? It's a good place to do it as well. All right, we have ourselves the vetoes here. Everdream, Nightshade, and Eternal as the third one will be our maps here. So again, no really fun people around that want to play the fun maps, unfortunately. I'm waiting though. Like a lot of the times you see people kind of just not vetoing Purity and Industry, realizing like, alright, if I just leave that open, then he's gonna have to veto that as his final one, right? Ultimately, we're gonna have somebody be like, I'm not gonna veto Purity and Industry just because you want me to. It's gonna happen. At one point, it will happen. I believe. Snoopy. Just need to have it happen at some point.
I'd imagine if we had SOS in this tournament, he might have gone with one of those maps.
Oh, yeah. But then again, people would just automatically veto it against him, right? Because...
Right. That's a good point.
Because they know he's the king of crazy. Alright. Counting Clem out already. What a shame. Yeah, it is a shame. It is a shame. I know who isn't counting out Clem just yet. It's Miguel over on the French stream, so... it's just Innovation is just such a scary player. It's hard for me to envision Innovation losing. Now, to be fair, if he does lose, then that would just make it all the more hype, right? Does CynicalDeath edit the code CynicalDeath Wikipedia page? Sometimes. I think so, yeah.
I would say all the time. He's gonna give him all the credit there.
I mean, it would be crazy if we hosted tournaments in his honor, to be fair as well, for updating the Wikipedia so much as he does, and then he's like, alright, I'm not going to do it this time.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be funny, wouldn't it? I mean, we'd be like, but we're celebrating you updating Wikipedia here, and he's like, yeah, but this time around, I'm just not feeling it. I don't think he would ever not feel updating Wikipedia. What's up, Renegade, by the way? How are you doing, my dude?
Hey, Renegade, what's up?
Renegade, another person here for the Alvax casting squadron. A lovely guy, Hold up. All right, so yeah, we're gonna wait for these players. Wait, where is the? Oh, okay, I'm in the lobby. For a moment, I was on somebody's profile and I was like, wait, where's the lobby? I need to get in the lobby, but I'm already in the lobby. There's just something over on top of it. We're all good. We're going to start game number 1 on Everdream here in a second, everybody. Hope you have your boots strapped. Do you have any wild predictions here, Snoopy? Do you think Clem's going to make this one?
You know what? I might have to go with my guts and say Innovation 2-0.
2-0? Wow. All right.
Yeah.
Alright, you know what, I wouldn't be too surprised if we do have a Clem victory here somewhere in between, but we'll have to wait and see, of course. I think 2-1. 2-1 I'm gonna say for Innovation here. Just to kind of keep it equal, right? A little bit, but still more in favor for Innovation. I can't not give it to Innovation, that's the problem here. Anyway, I already mentioned him a couple of times. He's the Blue Terran right here. Of Kaisi Esports.
All right.
You wanna...
All right, here.
Okay.
All right, here, spawning at the top right, we have our red Terran player from Team Liquid. It is Clem.
There he is. Who's gonna hide builds here, Sushi? What do you think? You think Innovation will, because of the GSL? There being a lot of Terrans in there. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's true. Innovation did make it to the quarterfinals, right? Or
yeah, I think so. Isn't... Wait, no, it's TY versus Parting, and I think it's Innovation versus... Was it? I want to say
let me go
Cure?
just quickly check here.
Not sure anymore.
Okay, Innovation versus Cure in the semifinal.
Yeah.
TY and Parting on the upper bracket. Yeah, he's facing against Cure, so he's gonna have to save his TPT builds.
Yeah. Exactly. It makes sense. It makes sense. That's going to be a big match, of course. So far, though, you know what? He is just doing some pretty standard stuff, right? He's going for the double Rex opening here. It's something people love to do. It means you don't have to get your second gas as quickly, and you still can get that command center relatively safe. You have a lot of scouting with those Reapers as well. It's what we're seeing happening right now. From both these players, actually. Very similar timings on everything, except for that second gas here. A slight bit earlier for Clem. Wondering if this is... you know what? Innovation getting it now. I'm not sure what else he spent his money on. Maybe an extra Marine or two. That's what it looks like to me.
No, I wouldn't be surprised if Innovation went like double Rex Rebirth this whole entire series.
I hope not.
He's one of those players that can actually go do something crazy, like where you just stick with one build. Because I remember back in the days with Nation War. Actually, let's go a little bit of a Reaper skirmish here.
I thought what you meant was like he was just gonna stick to the 2-Rex Reaper for this entire match. So like he would just not switch off of the Reap attack here.
Oh no, I mean like if like the first game, second game, and third game, if there's a third game. Because I remember back in Nation War, he went for like for Proxy Marine, Barracks Marine, like the entire series. I think he won all of them, or at least like won almost all of them, and then lost in the last one. But yeah, he's crazy like that.
Alright, you know what? Clem is definitely making some waves here on the other side of the map. Has those 4 Reapers still available. Trying to snipe away slowly at those Marines as they do not regenerate, of course. Time is ticking as that Marine ball is growing and growing here. Nice mines every single time here. So far, Clem, you know, gets 2 Marines and a Reaper there for not losing a single Reaper himself. It's really showing his micro prowess here right now. To wait and see if you can keep that momentum going, of course. Putting a lot of emphasis on that micro right now on this side of the map. Not quite sure what that means for his overall macro. I think he's okay, right? He's one of the best Terrans after all. Anyway, should be okay, but...
We do see a little bit of a spike here for Clem in the last second in the income graph. So I wonder if he threw down a mule or something. Yeah, it looks like he just threw down some mules.
Alright. Both these players are transitioning into the Raven siege tanks. Should be good. Did he just get another? Okay. Did he lose a Reaper there, or just?
Yeah, he just lost a Reaper. Okay. Force Innovation to retreat his Cyclone, as he doesn't want to lose that as well. And actually, what does Innovation has? He has a Raven coming out. Oh, he's gonna have to rely on that tank, because there are 3 Reapers as well as a Cyclone out there for Clem. Looks like he's just gonna go ahead and scout the dirt and retreat back home.
Yeah, he's feeling comfortable. He's feeling comfortable, as he should, honestly. He did some good stuff there. Innovation just slightly behind on the army count, though. You know, the work count overall, of course, still pretty equal. There's all to play for here still for both of these players. As we are just kind of waiting for them to get the further advanced unit compositions for the Terrans, of course. Get those siege tanks, get the Ravens, get the Vikings, stuff like that. And then we'll be able to really start ramping up the pressure in this pressure cooker of a TVT.
Yeah, now I would assume that barracks at the Innovation barrack. Okay, there we go. He's gonna switch out with the starboard, because I was about to say, it's like next to a gas, you can't really build an add-on next to it because the gas kind of blocks it. But it looks like he's going to switch it over, and we'll delay the medevac production for the time being.
Yeah. That is kind of interesting, right? Opting to go for more marine heavy starts here.
Oh,
Guess that
this
means
is
he wants to play a little bit more defensively, right? I suppose.
possibly. I mean,
Maybe
they're
he just
pretty much
wants
on
more
the same.
marines to attack with. That could be the case too.
Yeah.
You never quite know with innovation, but in this case, Clem will be the first one to start moving across the map here. As those medevacs in case he does need a quick retreat. Both of these guys only going for the single Raven here. Guess that's another thing to kind of note. And Clem, he is getting himself in a pretty good location. The Marine for Innovation does get himself some valuable intel here. We'll be able to set up the siege tanks before Clem gets too close. Now, of course, the Raven versus Raven matchup here, we need to be careful. Can still be quite volatile. Oh, the Cyclone looking onto the Raven of Innovation. Can this Cyclone... Oh, my dear lord. That was close. Oh, happening the same thing to Clem's Raven. Oh my god, you're joking. Just barely surviving both these Ravens here. But yeah, Clem will not be able to get anything done here on this side of the map. Lifts up those tanks, lifts up the Cyclone, and will move the heck out of harm's way before Innovation, what looks like indeed his superior Marine ball, kind of stampedes over him.
Oh man, he's gonna have to be careful. There's actually 2 tanks and medevacs loaded up in two medevacs that's dropping into the base of Innovation. And Innovation, he's got his pretty much his whole army across the map. So let's see if Clem can siege up correctly.
Alright, siege is up in that main base, like you said. Innovation, though, finding himself in a pretty good position here as well, right? Right in between the second and the third base. It's going to be incredibly difficult here for Clem, really, to get his reinforcements to group up with the rest here. Looks like this force in the main base will get cleaned up, though, for Clem. Meaning that Innovation here looks like he will be able to gain the initiative for sure. A little bit of a lead, and you know what? That's enough for Clem to say, alright, I'm tapping out of this one. After losing that natural base there.
Yeah, it feels like it feels like Innovation was just a bit more decisive there. Was able to take down the second command center and the natural command center. So even if Clem was able to clean that up, he would have already been down the base.
Yeah, for sure. It's a bit it's a rough one indeed. Alright, anyway, we'll have to wait and see what happens next. This is a gifted sub for Renegade there. I wonder who that could have been.
I wonder.
I wonder too. Alright, second map, Nightshade. And it's EVT for Clem overall. I feel like very often he just gets outpositioned, right? I'm not sure if it's him just not being aware enough or if it's him not quickly enough responding, because he did have that Marine seeing the attack coming in there. And he just didn't really do too much to try and defend against it, in a way, right? He didn't get his siege tanks at least in the right position to stop Innovation from setting up in between the natural and the third base and allowing those Marines to just scoot on through to the place.
Yeah, he was just like, I think just a tad second late, because he by the time Clem sieged up with his tank at the natural, the Marine of Innovation was already kind of hitting the command center, so it had a kind of a leeway there. So imagine if Clem was able to kind of siege up a second sooner, a bit more forward. It would have blocked the Marine, or it would have blocked the Innovation from being able to get on top of the natural command center and the mineral line. So just sometimes, you know, TBT it comes down to positioning. Even if you have just a tad bit more Marines or a tad bit more tanks, positioning is just really, really important.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Clem, his counterattack as well, right? I mean, it was a little bit similar. I think he just had a couple less tanks overall there, right? He had 2 tanks instead of the 3 or 4 for innovation there. Oh, wrong one. There we go. Okay, and yeah, overall, I don't know. Innovation just too good with its overall macro. It's so much already back at home, and he made it look easy, honestly, cleaning up a drop like that.
Yeah.
Regardless, here we have the top left side, a blue Terran player, potentially one of the best, if not the best, right now for the Terran race. Anyway, he's the Korean. He is from Kaisi Gaming. He is Innovation. Got a bit distracted there halfway through my sentence with everything going on in the chat right now.
All right, and here, spawning at the bottom right, we had the red Terran player representing Team Liquid, looking to tie up the series. Can he do it? It's Clem.
All right. Actually, I do still have to quickly get this sorted. All right, there we go. There we go. Updated the sub counts there. Renegade coming in with as the 23rd. Oh no, 24th. Sorry. Anyway, oh, thanks, Mano. I appreciate it. Just dropping in to say hi to Kozen. Good luck, have fun. What a guy, A nice friend. Anyway, this time around we're having a little bit of a mix-up of stratagems here from these players. We just have the single barracks from Clem straight into that command center. Innovation does get that scout off. And on the other side we have Innovation going for the double gas here, the quicker factory instead. So that will definitely facilitate him a bit more aggression early on. Will he be able to equalize out that small bit of difference with that command center here? Of course, needs to get on top of those SCVs, building that one pretty darn soon. Clem, though, with that scout, seeing that factory timing, is going to keep his Reaper at home. He's going to try to get himself to Hellion production here as quickly as possible with that reactor.
Yeah, I think sometimes I feel like, you know, there's a kind of decisive moment here in this stage where you either go for a bunker on the low ground to defend any kind of aggression coming from the opponent that's going for the faster factory, or do you try to rely on just pure micro and having the units come out just in time? It looks like Clem is going to rely on his pure micro there.
Yeah. You know what, I mean, if he has anything in hot store, it's definitely the micro. I'd say it's probably one of his strongest abilities. This micro is out of this world, honestly, and it's always on display, especially in that TVP matchup. I'd say against the disruptors. Just continuously, no matter what, always knowing exactly how to micro, how quickly to micro, and what to go for. Is that tempo? Oh my god, tempo!
Hey, what's up?
That's so cool,
Welcome,
man.
welcome.
That's so freaking cool. I'm sorry. Now I'm fangirling here myself. It's nuts. That's nuts. What's up, dude? Welcome to the stream. Now, immediately, of course, Mighty Estrella. Yeah, man, Estrella. He didn't do that great against Zest here, unfortunately, but you know what? He might still be able to turn it around. I'm a bit worried, though, of course. He is going to have to go up either against Clem or Innovation. Most likely Clem, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see how he does that. Anyway.
Oh, a little bit of Miss Michael there. Does lose a Hellion up front.
Yeah, he did kind of walk up that ramp a bit too early. Or a bit too brazen, perhaps. Anyway, big drop from Innovation. Oh, I say big drop. It's just a single tank.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't see this doing any damage at all.
Biggest of drops. Oh, did he miss something? I don't... Well, yeah, you missed the first best of 3. That's all. That is all. It wasn't too much to watch at, though, unfortunately. I guess the second game was alright. It's the PvP. It's the PvP. Zest versus Estrella. People are complaining that Clem's parents are letting him stay up late. Well, I mean, you know what? He is a man right now, right? I think he's 19, 18.
Last
Isn't
time
it
we
noon?
checked, it was 18. Yeah.
He's been playing the entire night, Tempo. That's right. It's late night for him right now. I think. Well, anyway, very often when we do have Clem here, it does seem to be like he is not getting as much sleep as probably a doctor would advise somebody. And then again, you know what? As long as he's feeling okay, as long as he's playing StarCraft 2 at this level, I suppose I still have confidence that I will be able to pull through. It's not going to be able, you know what, take too much harm here, but, well, that's what I hope for. Anyway, big push here for innovation. This one actually might be able to get a little bit done, at least tonight at third base. Well, it's not even flying yet, so should be okay. Just a slight bit of pressure here.
Yeah, now it's important to note that Clem does have 3 Ravens compared to the 1 Raven of innovation, so you probably don't want to stick around too long. I don't think this contain will last that long. And it looks like, yeah, he's just going here for a scare and will retreat. So it looks like Clem, on the other hand, he's going to go for the attack this time around.
Yeah, Innovation did send a Raven around the other side here. We'll be able to hit up the SCV line a little bit with the army of Clem now all the way out on the map. That was a lovely little ambush, wasn't it? Innovation just setting up on that high ground there, knowing that Clem was likely to chase him down. It's immediately getting a good couple of shots there. Alright, Clem and Innovation. Now, a bit of a stalemate here in the middle of the map, right? Let's take a look at that income graph. Definitely a bit of a spike that for Innovation as he did get that Raven in the main base, forcing all those SCVs to run away. But overall, you know what? Both these players definitely still in this one. TVT, a very volatile matchup. If you just overextend a little bit, right? Walk into a siege tank line, suddenly you lose most of your army. And it's like, alright, well, counterattack incoming. And there go all your SCVs or your command center or something like that. Anyway, we might be coming into one of those moments again here. Okay, just a couple of those Marines. Climb on top of things. Need to keep awake, of course, yeah. Clem in particular.
Is it me or does Clem's army look rather small?
There's not that many Marines here. He definitely does have the Viking count though, so we'll be able to pick off the Ravens of Innovation here. Now with the Vikings landing as well, he might have enough, honestly, to push on through. Those auto turrets definitely helping out quite a bit there. And that was a great trade for Clem. There's nothing else to say about it. Look at the units lost tab, actually. That is quite a significant trade for Clem, actually, taking place there, I'd say.
Yeah, that's the difference between having 1 Raven versus 3.
Yeah, and then also having those Vikings as well, right? As supporting units. I mean, if you have 1 Raven and it dies instantly because of 1 volley of Vikings, you basically have 0. You just have like 200 gas that immediately blows up. Anyway, well, Clem does have to retreat here a little bit. The army supply overall pretty equal. I'm a bit worried perhaps that Clem might lose the Vikings here as well. Okay, no, Innovation not jumping on that opportunity there. The 3 Ravens for Clem. That's quite brave as well. On an excursion mission here, it looks like. Trying to get himself some worker damage done as well. Is buying Clem a bit of time though. Innovation not pushing forward anymore. I'm not sure how much he would have gotten done, honestly, but the siege tank count for Clem was definitely not really up there for a moment.
Yeah, I think this is a really nice play actually from Clem because he recognizes that there's no Vikings out for Innovation, so those Ravens are free to roam around and do some economic damage. Now, the thing that I'm afraid here a little bit for Clem is that Innovation has his +1/1 upgrade already versus the... Okay, there we go. Clem just finally completing the +1/1. And some more additional auto turrets going down in these mineral lines, getting additional 4 SCVs, and now Clem retakes the worker lead.
Clem is behind in army supply though, which is kind of terrifying, realizing that a lot of that army supply is still on the other side of the map, inside of those Ravens as well. It looks like Innovation will not push his luck here. I definitely feel like if he rotated a little bit there, especially with one of those siege tanks being very far apart, right? Maybe been able to get himself into a good position here, but not taking that opportunity just quite yet. Did Clem just lose 2 of those Ravens as well? Yes, he did. Yep. 2 Vikings coming to save the day there for Innovation. Alright, now Liberator's on the way.
Oh, yeah. So it's always really nice to kind of mix in some Liberators, because we do see a lot of those like tank versus tank siege mode in a standstill. And the Liberators are kind of the answer to kind of breaking that. You gotta force the opponent to unsiege. And also, you know, if you have the Viking advantage, you can protect those Liberators from being taken down. So the opponent can't really snipe down. If they do commit to sniping down that Liberator, then at least your Vikings will be able to get extra pot shots at his Viking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And also, like, the anti-air damage of the Liberator sometimes kind of get laughed at, right? It's not the greatest amount, but definitely still, I hold up that phone, actually. 1 moment here. Innovation is coming in rather decisively. 3 siege tanks getting themselves in a pretty good position. We'll be able to shoot down a couple of those mineral fields here with those siege tanks. And be able to shoot at the orbital here as well. Probably shouldn't try to commit any further, but you know what, we'll take a trade there in the top as well as... Oh my dear lord, he's actually really putting a hurt here on Clem right now. Being able to deny that 4th base from being on that position, while also pretty much denying mining here for from at least 2 of these mineral patches. Which is incredibly difficult, of course, because Clem now has to individually micro these SCVs back continuously. And that's a lot of pressure as Innovation now ramps it up even more so. Coming into the main base here, Snoopy, I'm not sure if Clem is going to be able to recover from this. He needs those Ravens back.
Yeah, this Doom Drop is actually doing a lot of damage. Oh man, he's actually got the upgrades here of the armory as well as the barracks just before 2-2 is, or just before 2-2 is done. So that is pretty much GG as Innovation just romp stomps Clem.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you called it 2-0 here for Innovation. I mean, Innovation, I mean, it's just good all around, right? Clem is a fantastic player for the overall TVZ as well. An absolute beast, a monstrosity of a player. But TVT, as we mentioned a couple of times before, it seems like he just doesn't have the TVT capabilities as some of these other really top-notch Korean Terrans, right? Which might make a little bit of sense as... where's Clem gonna get his TVT practice from? For Zero Marine? I mean, that is the one player that you might expect him really on the European ladder to really get that TVT practice from. And on the Korean ladder, they run into Maru, they run into Cure, Innovation, Dream. Like, there's so many to name. Even Bunny, right? All those older Terrans that continuously just going to the wrong server. But yeah, there's just a lot more of that practice there around for these top-notch Korean Terrans, specifically for the TVT matchup.
Yeah, I can't really... I mean, now that you mentioned it, I can't really think of too many known Terrans on the EU server.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to discredit Euthermal, and, you know, it's also Vindicta and Cuddlebear, I know, also often play on the European server. But, I mean, yeah, well, you know what, Euthermal has been making some more waves, so maybe it's going to be like Hero Marine and Euthermal. That's 2 of those players, but it's still not as much, right? I still feel like you're going to get more TVP practice, you're going to get more TVC practice. Vindicta and Cuddlebear, yeah. I know, they're just not up to the same standards, right? It's just, they're not top-notch Korean Terran players. I love them with all my heart, honestly. They're amazing players, and I love to see them play. I always love to see them win. They manage to take some crazy games now and again. From very high-stacked players, even if they are Korean. But they're just not really up to that same consistency. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, looks like we're heading into our Winners versus Winners match, which will be Zest versus Innovation. So we should have a good one here.
Oh my. Oh my. Honestly, I think we can kind of assume Innovation is going to take this one. I'm not quite sure. Zest also, it's possible. It's always possible that Zest manages to beat Innovation here. But overall, Innovation's just been looking so incredibly solid that pretty much against anyone, he's right now the favorite, no matter really who he's playing against, right?
Yeah, I mean he's currently playing like a boss, and I mean Zest on the other hand, you know, he was looking really strong back in IEM, but then he kind of went through a few months of kind of a low down, or kind of being on limbo where he doesn't hasn't really gotten a lot of results or noticeable results. But then as of recent, he's actually been playing a lot better. So I don't know. It could be an intriguing matchup, and Zesk could definitely has a chance to beat Innovation. But
Yep.
I'd say just based on currently, I will give the slight edge to Innovation here.
Yeah. Dipper making a good point, honestly. Like, Sol and Kalizer, of course, also very often in the on the EU ladder. Yeah, that's true, but I'm still gonna kind of mention that they're still not up to the same snuff, right? Of like these Cure, Innovation, Maru. It's just not really there, unfortunately. TY as well, of course. Um,
Maybe
Extremely
he
good in
needs to
TVT, actually,
maybe he
TY
needs to
is.
practice against Alpha Star.
Overstar? Yeah. Alphastar has his own own way of playing, right, as well, so... I'm not 100% sure how much it helps out overall. Maybe you're gonna get like different ideas and different plans to incorporate in a player versus player match instead of the player versus Alpha Star match, but I don't know. I don't know, man. Alright, so yeah, Innovation versus Zest. I think both Clem and Estrella are hoping that Innovation takes this one, honestly. I would not want to go up against Innovation again. Myself. Anyway, guys, remember we do have a Metrorino page. There's no codes anymore available, but if you are from the US of A or Canada, there is a survey. I know it's scurvy, but it's not survey, is it? It could be if you wanted to, though. Maybe. Let's just blame my accents, all right? Anyway, so yeah, go check out that's the survey. If you fill it in, it's going to add $1 to the prize pool. That would be very much appreciated, guys. We're really trying to get this one as high as possible, as it is a 7-day tournament, of course. These players putting in a lot of effort to get everything sorted here. There's also a Castic tip jar there and a replay pack. So, yeah, go check it out. Go check it out, Metrorino, !Metrorino, and in the chat, and you will be able to get yourself that link. All right. Anyway, we're already in the 3rd series of the day here. This is going rather quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. Has some really nice quick games,
We're
but
in Taiwan
hopefully
servers.
it's going to be a longer one.
Apparently we're on the Taiwanese servers. How much
Oh.
ping do people have over here from Korea?
I have no idea.
We might have to pause it.
Is there even a referee? I don't think there's any referee, right? Who knows?
Do we have a referee? I hope we do. We need to do it now, though, before actually stuff happens. No
Yeah.
ref kappa. Oh, oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Alright, well anyway. Mage laughing. Okay. Let's just do it. Taiwan is okay. Alright. In the top right side, we have ourselves a blue Terran player. He's fighting for Kai Z. He's the absolute monstrosity. He is Innovation.
And here, spawning at the bottom left, we have the red Protoss player. Is he the best? Let's see, because he is Zest.
Right, well, yeah, Innovation's win rate versus Protoss is in fact 85 something this season, right? I think, is that just GSL actually, or is that like everything else combined as well? I know his TVP is insane.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy win rate. I wish I had that win rate.
Yeah, on that level as well.
I know, right? It's not like they're playing against like bronzies or anything.
Yeah. And another thing to point out with that entire TVP matchup for Innovation, I know for a fact that Innovation doesn't like to go late game against Protoss. That's why he gets very aggressive, that's why he does a lot of 2-base timings with a lot of SEV pools. But the scary part is, for some reason, somehow, right? Innovation, with those pushes, always do so much more than anyone else's. It's really like he just has, I don't know, twice as many Marines and SEVs just with every attack. Focuses down units maybe a little bit better, just does his macro a little bit better. A lot of stuff happening a little bit better for Innovation, and makes a lot of stuff work in that sense. Anyway, so far we're seeing Innovation didn't really scout, so he went for the orbital command center here on the high ground. And is now going across the map, of course, with that Reaper, but as we can see, didn't really get to see too much here. We'll barely save that Marine from the Adept. And we have the two proxies here, of course, a Dark Shrine and a Gateway from Zest.
Yep. So we're gonna have some nice DT plays. And well, Innovation, he's gonna have at least 2 command center to scan, but he's probably gonna want to throw down a engineering bay as soon as possible.
Yeah, this might be the one of those moments where you're like, all right, this is now a negative that his macro is this good, right? He's always on top of those mules, so I mean, yeah, that gives him a lot more money to work with a lot earlier on than some other Terrans out there, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that he will not have that many scans available. Doesn't even have a starport yet, right? He went for the triple Rex opening here as well. That's definitely worth mentioning. He's just going to go for a massive attack here, it looks like, off of the 3 Rex with just siege tanks. Actually, this is something we've seen him do more often, right? He just likes to sometimes skip the entirety of the starports and then just spam out more tanks because of this. Do want to see another siege tank coming up here? Yeah, alright, so a slight supply block, but well, let's take a look. He does have a scan available here on his natural base. It's going to be close. Okay, man, that is fortunate. We'll be able to use this scan for the Dark Templar here. He's going to lift up those supply depots, though. And there he goes. Doesn't even get a single one of them. Oh, no. That's disgusting.
He's just now throwing down his engineering bay. He's gonna have only 1 more left for scan.
4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. We'll have a scan available right in a moment. There it is. It's one of those Dark Templar. The 3rd one shows up as well, though. Man, this is Zest. What has Innovation done to you, man? Why does he deserve this? Jeez. Another scan will be available in 5 seconds, but that's a long 5 seconds with Dark Templar already on top of your army, on top of the Marines. Where's this 3rd Dark Templar? Wait, I guess he only has 2 right now. He's gonna get out with another one. Look at that. Every single time on top of that micro. 2 more Dark Templars just waiting outside. He's like, alright, I can actually make this work into my favor here. I know you don't have missile turrets. I know you don't have that much scan energy. And that is just a massive, do you know what, breach of trust, I want to say here for for Innovation. Zest definitely giving him a lot of hurt for this one.
Yeah, he's already done enough damage to pay off for these DTs. I mean, if even if Innovation does clean it up, I think Zest should be satisfied with the amount of disturbance that he's caused for Innovation.
Innovation's never going to financially recover from this. He's going to have to... I feel like he's just going to start marching across the map. Like, he still doesn't have a starport yet either, right? Everything he wanted to do was just kind of move across the map here. Now, those Dark Templars, they didn't just kill off SCVs. They also killed off 8 Marines, a Siege Tank, and a Cyclone as well, which also helps out quite a bit against this types of stuff. Oi, oi, oi. This is lucky, though. A bit fortunate. Finds those Archons transforming in. Just a single Archon drop now, going into that main base. What is Zest doing? Why is he moving across the map here? And away from that army? Is he gonna go into a base trade? Is he actually gonna go into a base trade here?
Looks very much like it. And you know what? I mean, I feel like he should be okay. I mean, there's not a lot of scans left. If he kind of destroys these command... Oh my god, look at all these SCVs going down.
Aye, 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 aye. Alright, yeah, not a single one of them reaching the other side of the map here. Innovation needs to start lifting up buildings. That's the only way he's going to be able to stay alive here for long enough, I'd say. Especially with buildings full. Zest still being across the map here as well, right? We'll be able to... he does have money for a Nexus as well. So I think, you know, this is a brilliant maneuver overall from Zest. He's going to be able to kind of set himself up here on the other side of the map. He'll have an incredible amount of innovation. And, wow. Alright, well, I guess this also... You know what, this is a brilliant maneuver. Having those orbitals lifted up right now, he's going to be able to wail away at the marine count here. Zest got this, man. There's no way he loses this. There's just no way.
Yeah, I mean, the DTs, nothing, no answer for them, no Ravens, no command center to scan. The only command center is floating away into the dead space.
Yeah, he's going to be able to just drop those sentries underneath this command center, and it's never going to land ever anymore. Innovation needs to get his sources all together right on top of that orbital, and I mean, well, good luck, Innovation, from this point. Man, this was one hell of a series from start of Zest here for this series. Dark Templars once again. Yeah, you're not coming in here. You're not gonna land ever. That's it, man. That's GG. That's it.
Yeah. Yep. That's pretty much GG.
That's gotta leave a little bit of a sour taste in your mouth here if you're Innovation. It's gonna be a bit nasty here. But yeah, very smart play there from Zest. You don't usually see the Dark Shrine working out against Terran, but especially against the build that Innovation was doing, right, without really having that starports. That was a, you know what, maybe a stroke of luck, but also it seems you know what, in that situation, a stroke of genius. Because otherwise you can just lift up your starports, put it on an attack lab, and ultimately you're gonna have yourself a Raven, right? And you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You don't have to invest that many scans anymore. It's like 1 or 2 scans until that Raven is built, and then, you know what, you can kind of start stabilizing, and you can go across the map with that Raven, with your army, and actually get stuff done. This time around, though, only having the scans and nothing else. And yeah, stuff definitely working out rather nicely there for Zest. We're gonna have to go into game number 2.
Oh, looks like we need to remake. But even though Zest was able to pull out the win, I still feel like he didn't really need to go for the base trade. I think he could have still held the attack at his natural, because he had the charge, which is really good against the marine tank composition of Innovation, and plus he had the DT, so he was going to force Innovation to do multiple scans.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it was just a lovely game there, played by Zest. The base trade as well, a stroke of genius, honestly, I have to say. Wonderful plan. The right call in that situation. Having that Dark Shrine tech available, already pulling all those probes before the Marines and the siege tanks even arrived, right? In his mind, he was just like, alright, the army of the Terrans is going to come around that way. I'm going to be able to just, right about now, move my probes away, right? He didn't do it too quickly. He didn't do it too slow. It was at the exact right time. And that kind of shows the overall skill, right, required.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's up, Cuddle Bear? Cuddle Bear in the chat now as well. We gave you a little bit of a shout out earlier on. But we apparently summoned you because of it. That's pretty cool.
Maybe we should also shout out the recent followers as well.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, man.
Oh, no. I'm really bad with the name pronunciation,
all right. Well,
I'll leave that to you.
Follow me. Kind of sounds like salami, but then a little bit more Italian. Turk Soul, my Angle Eyes, number 7. 39 seconds. Synoptics, Zergi82, Ramcam 02, no __ OS. Beige Manon 112. There is the anonymous gifter, of course, as well. In the mood 88. MIWK Netasit. Erica Mano It's another Mano, actually. Interesting. Knights, SC2. What's up, Nuts? Noah Dragon Sword. James Bond Boer. Some Korean name. Demu. Hexeract. LP Sacros. Acheron. That's a lot of people here. Alright, I think I'm already done. Those are people
Those are
that...
13
yeah.
hours.
I think I passed the mark here. I think we did it. Thank you all for following. Thank you all for joining us. Hope you're having a good time. Even all you lurkers out there, very much appreciate all of you. Anyway, let's go jump into this game, of course, as we have things kind of starting off here. Let's wait and see. Show the screen! Not for a little bit here. You know, this is how you do it. This is how you buy time as a caster to avoid that awkward moment where you're just kind of like waiting for something to happen, right? In a way.
That's cool. That's a professional, right?
it's planning. It's planning ahead. Anyway, in this bottom left side of the map, we have somebody that's actually on match point. Not the favorite to win the overall match, but you know what? Maybe he's going to be able to squeeze another victory out here, as it is just the best of 3 anyway. He has 2 games to make it work. Can he do it, though? Raise your edge gaming. The Red Protoss. Zest.
And spawning here at the top right, we have the blue Terran player. Representing Team Kaizi Gaming is Innovation.
Innovation.
Right, so,
as good in StarCraft 2 as an entire nation.
oh, I like that little rhyme scheme you had there going.
I wanted to give him something, because we always talk about Zest being the best. Not sure what nation though, right? If it was a nation that's not playing StarCraft 2, it's not that impressive. But for South Korea, you know, that's pretty something else.
Wait, well, have you ever seen Avatar: The Last Airbender?
Yes, I have.
All right, so you know there's the Fire Nation, there's the Water Nation, there's the Earth, and then there's the Air.
Yeah.
So which nation in the kind of the Avatar airbending world would you say Innovation is in? If you had to guess.
He's the Avatar, man. Doesn't belong to anyone. He does it all. He has it all. He does the cheese. He does the macro. He does everything perfectly. Right, a cheesy player would be a Fire Nation. A turtle player would. I think that would be maybe the Water Nation or the Stone Nation, the Rock Nation. How's it called again? I don't know.
Well, someone in the chat agreed with you. He's like, Innovation is the Avatar hands down.
No problem for him. The thing is with StarCraft 2, in this analogy though, the Avatar, who is that person, switches around sometimes, right? So sometimes it's somebody completely different, right? Sometimes it's suddenly Serral again. Now it's seemingly to be Innovation. They don't have to die, right? But they definitely do seem to incorporate a lot of knowledge about everything within the universe from their predecessors here. Otherwise, how else are you going to get this good at this game? I don't know. You're going to have some sort of reincarnated StarCraft 2 genius inside of you to really get this good, I'd say. That's why I'm not this good, right? It's my way of coping with things. We have a drilling class upgrade here coming out of for Innovation.
Ooh.
And that's always interesting, of course. Can do a whole lot of damage. And on the other side, we do have that blink upgrade. Robotics facility already finished up, but that's not really having gotten a good scout of on that drilling upgrade, right? I'm not sure if he will do.
Yeah, I mean, let's see here. Not a lot of vision here.
No, I was expecting this hallucinated Phoenix. I'm not sure if it's going to get there in time. It needs to, of course, see either the armory or it needs to see this tech lab kind of producing here. Okay, it's just going to get the this scout in the well, okay. Marine's just barely not in position. He sees the tech lab still researching here, so he should be able to kind of figure this out, right? Either it's drilling claws or for some weird reason it's blue flame, which you don't really get in the TVP matchup. So at least I've not seen people get it. I know it used to be a thing, right? People just love to do Blue Flame Hellions and then drop them in Protoss bases as well. With a Medivac. But...
Back when Hellbats were really strong.
Oh my god, that's nasty! Alright, well, 3 workers still go down because Drilling Claws is pretty nuts, but that's a big investment. Second Widowmine drop on the way though in that natural base. This needs to do a bit more. This definitely needs to do a bit more. Stark is once again already in position here.
Yeah, with this observer, I can't see this doing. I mean, unless he's not paying attention.
Stop paying attention.
Looks like, yeah, he's paying attention. Like,
have to sneeze! Have to sneeze! No!
I think he just waited just a little bit more. Could have gotten it.
Yeah, if you waited a bit more for that Medivac to overextend, that's what you mean, right? It got close though, it got close. Just a couple of those dogs not shooting immediately. And, yeah, oh well, we are gonna move on forwards.
Is he getting a little here? The bottom here? Oh my god, this bottom.
No. Yeah,
this is not working out too well for Innovation.
Yeah, so far definitely kind of backfiring. The thing is though, if any Terran in the world can kind of recover from those types of things, right, it is Innovation. I've seen him in much worse positions against Protoss that are, you know what, if not Zest, around the same level as Zest, and still somehow managed to come out on top, right? Look at this, what he's doing. He's got 5 barracks ready to start producing units. He's got the Medivacs in production as well. I wouldn't be surprised for him to just start pushing across the map suddenly with a massive force. Pull some boys, maybe, even as well. Okay, no, he's not going to. He's just sending them to the 3rd base. Alright, well... I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he's fine, Snoopy. We're probably word for nothing here, right?
Well, you know, with Drilling Claws, Widowmine drops, it's one of those plays where even if you don't get it, like get a lot of worker kills in the beginning, like if you continue to do that like later throughout the game, it can usually kind of get some amount of workers, because you know. The Protoss like is babysitting his mini map in the early game, but then later on he's like focused on other stuff. So usually they kind of forget about looking out for those Widowmine drops.
Yeah, that is true. That is for sure. There's still that one Widowmine drop here, waiting in the natural base. Stalkers trying to get rid of those Widowmines, not really being able to do so. And now with the Colossi here, they don't have extended thermal lance just yet. Innovation taking a trade here that's probably not in his best interest. Not liking his micro there as much. Definitely kind of stacked up with those units, not really spreading them out, right, against the Colossi there. That did pick off a couple of those Stalkers, so might be able to come in around with a wave number 2 and do a bit more. As a couple more Marauders this time around as well, right? So, who knows? Who knows?
The question is, will he have enough kind of Vikings to counter the Colossus that Possess has? He already has 3 Colossus, adding a 4th one about to be. So I'm a little bit scared for him. If he goes up with a straight up fight, he's probably gonna not be able to win that match against the Colossus, the 4 Colossus, without any Vikings to take it down.
Marauders do pretty well, but yeah, without the Vikings, it becomes so much more difficult, especially with all those Zealots in the mix as well. You know what, tanking so much damage here. There we go. He is going to try to jump on top of these Colossi, but just too much AoE damage there. There's a second attack though, in the main, or the natural actually, coming in right now. Innovation realizing that Zest might be a bit out of position. The recall comes in quite handy in those situations though. We'll be able to kind of reset. And a attempted drop from Zest apparently that got blown out of the sky. Actually, I'm not quite sure. Dark Templar were attempted there. I'm sorry, I missed the entirety of Dark Templar being on the map.
Yeah, but they I don't think they did too much damage. But this attack here is getting a little bit scary. He's got to wait for his Colossus to join up before attacking.
Yeah. He picked off the Vikings though, which is kind of a big deal as well, right? So.
Yeah,
killing off half of the Vikings and the command center. Yeah.
Exactly.
This is rough for Innovation, honestly. I still believe, though, there's no problem. He's still ahead in workers. He's still ahead in army supply. How, though? How? I have no idea. He's still okay on the upgrades as well, I'd say. He's getting the tech that he needs. Like, It's what I said. Like it doesn't really. It's like this rubber ducky. You keep pressing in on his face, and it just plops right out again, right? It's like rubber ducky.
I'm just like
Terran.
imagining that rubber ducky right now in my head.
Yeah. A rubber ducky with Innovation's face on it. I need this.
Yeah, same here.
But honestly, yeah, it does seem like he's one of those Terrans that is just absolutely fantastic at recovering, even from like continuously, right? He took bad trades all around in this game. Look at that worker count: 69 versus 62 of Zest, and his army supply. It is up there. His upgrades are up there as well. He's got the Ghost, he's got the Vikings, so the attack is there. Getting enhanced shockwaves. I mean, he's definitely not out of this yet, right?
Yeah, it's a testament to his macro. But here we go. Looks like, oh man, Zest has his army a little bit out of position, kind of in the awkward area. But here we go. Looks like Innovation is going to go ahead and try to take down this fourth base. I feel like Zest has enough, but he's going to play it safe.
Gets it again here. Another Nexus that falls. There is a big run-by attempt for Zest, though, on that top left side. Not too many forces available right now for Innovation. He is stacking up on those, on his reinforcing units that are coming out of that production tab. And Zest actually realizing that Innovation isn't pressing his advantage. So he's keeping that force around there, waiting for Innovation to once again really start pressing across the other side of the map here. We'll have to wait and see if that is the moment in time that that push is going to be able to get a lot done here for Zest. Trying to find some value with those Stalkers as well. And now we see the Disruptors being mixed in, right? That's the one thing I'd say for Innovation that he's not all that well prepped for right now. And that is also the unit that I think he despises the most in this game, honestly. After hearing him talk about it a couple of times in the interviews, it really does seem like... also, just overall, it seems like he's not that great to micro against the Disruptors. Honestly, you kind of want to have Clem going up against Disruptors, right? If only you could have Innovation with most things, and then when the fight is happening with Disruptors and stuff, you just put Clem in there, and then suddenly, you know what, you would have the perfect human being.
Yeah, we do see a little bit the Zealot and DT counterattack commencing here at the third. Now, I gotta say, it was pretty smart. It's pretty smart of Zest to go for Disruptor because he really needs a second flash damage unit, and he already did scout the Ghost tech from Innovation. So I think skipping the High Templars was the right call. He's gonna go add in some Disruptor, and oh my God,
this Run-by is doing
a whole
lot. Yeah,
so much.
It's doing an incredible amount, actually. Not just continuously killing off SCVs here. Innovation not really getting that. Getting those Vikings landed there in time, I'd say. And yeah, that's a boatload of SCVs going down. And yet, still, you know what? It's only a 2 workers supply difference here. It is fine. Oh my, okay. Like, these are the things. These are the real things that sometimes you're like, alright, well, if Innovation does this a bit better, it's gonna be good. But, more Dark Templar harassment going down on that top left side. Innovation's gonna be hard-pressed to try and make something work here. Okay, good EMPs, but again, losing so many workers. And now we're actually having quite a detrimental difference here in that supply. And, I mean, it is a big investment, though, of course, from Zest, right? Those Dark Templars, they don't come cheap. They really don't. Another Zealot run-by as well. Holy moly. Zest making a lot work with just this one War Prism here in the top left side. More Dark Templar as well. Still mining on the bottom right side as too. Innovation completely unaware about that one. Ooh, that's a lot of Ghosts. That's 4 Ghosts in a Disruptor shot. That's exactly what has me a little bit worried here.
Oh man, all these DTs jumping on top of these Ghosts does take some of them out. But man, these DTs and Charizard run-by still relentless. Oh, we do see Innovation does finally scout the bottom right base with that Marine. But his army is all the way at the left side. He's gonna have to send a group to snipe that off. But more DTs coming in here on the third base, and we'll probably get on top of this turret.
Yeah,
well, SUVs.
Yeah, there's just no reinforcements here available for. Oh my God, that Disruptor shot was disgusting. Oh yeah. All right, well, yeah, this is got to be gotta be a point of capitulation coming up here, I'd say. I'm not quite sure
like,
if this is still doable for Innovation anymore.
well, maybe if Innovation can call up Clem and say, "Can you play for me right now?"
I need you to micro TVP late game, all right, and do some miracle work here for me. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the weakness of Innovation, I'd say. The late game TVP, it is not his forte. It really isn't. I mean, yes, he has an insane win rate against Protoss, but most of that is because of those very quick early wins that he likes to take with the timing attacks, with the SCV pools as well, and he is insane with those. He's absolutely nuts. But yeah, overall, what's this one ghost in the bottom right side? Oh, look at that. That's cute. Cess trying to get it with AoE damage here. Hitting his own targets. Trying to get it. There you go. That's pretty cool, actually. I've not seen that being done too much, actually. But yeah, there you go.
On like maybe croup tumors, but you don't usually see that.
With like ghosts. Cloaked ghost. Anyway, here we have another run by. This is just continuous damage stacking up on one another.
Oh my god.
And also, oh my god, the disruptors. Yeah, I mean, there's no way. There's no way it's gonna come back here anymore, I'd say. This is just a rough one. This has been a very nice game so far from Zest. Like, either Innovation needs to start pushing right the heck now and do a lot of damage, kill off these Nexi again, or something, right? Deny the mining here from Zest, but as we can see, there's almost 2k minerals extra income right now for Zest, and you will not be able to keep that going for a long period of time here as the Terran player. He will be flying his main base, but... Oy, oy, oy.
Yeah. Oh man, these disruptor shots just keeps.
Get him!
Oh,
another reasonable hit. Oh my god! Yep. GG. GG is called. Sass taking this one 2-0. 2-0, Snoopy. Who would have guessed? Who would have known that this was gonna happen? Innovation goes down to the deciders match. He's not out of the tournament just yet. But he needs to step up his game here. Well, I guess he only needs to... Well, I say only. There's TVT, which is his... it's just a bit more of his cup of tea rather than TVP late game. And then, of course, there's Estrella as well. A little bit of the wild card. We don't know exactly what's going to happen there. I'm hoping Estrella is going to be able to take 2 games here off of Clem, but it is a tall order to ask, right?
Yeah, I feel like Australia's one of those players that has kind of a funky play style. He doesn't play like the typical, Protoss player.
Yeah.
And so sometimes he catches his opponent off guard and it actually gives him some wins that way. But we'll see if he can do it against Clem. But then the bigger question will be if he does win against Clem, can he do it once again against Innovation? The good thing for Australia is that he only needs to play one matchup, which is PBT. So at the very least, he can treat Clem as a warm up, and then later on, if he does play against Innovation, then he would have kind of been in the groove with all the warm up games.
I'm gonna quickly head to the toilet, man. You keep everybody company here. And,
all right.
All right. I'll be right back.
All right.
Give some shout outs to his new follows or something. You can do it, Snoopy. I believe.
All right, so looks like we're heading to America, I believe, as we're having Australia versus Clem. So we shall get that started once the map vetoes are done. But once again, guys, we do have a Match Arena page for this event. I believe the coupons codes were all used up. So now, if you're wondering how you can contribute to the prize pool, you can do some sponsor quests. There's a survey quest for U.S. and Canada residents, where if you complete it, you can add $1 to the prize pool. And then if you want the replay pack for this entire tournament, then you can go ahead and also purchase the replay pack for $10. So not only do you get the replays, but you're also helping out the players with their prize pool. So currently we are heading into the losers versus losers match, Australia versus Clem. and that should be an exciting one. So let's go ahead and oh, welcome back, Kozen.
Thank you, thank you. So what has been discussed there?
Oh, just went over the Matcherino thing.
Oh, nice. So what do people in the chat think? Estrella versus Clem. Does Estrella have a chance? He's been doing pretty well recently, honestly. He's been taking some big games, right? He's been getting good practice in Korea. But Clem, though. Clem, ooh.
I really wonder what who Miguel thinks will win this upcoming series.
Estrella's got
really
this.
brain scratcher.
You know what Miguel thinks. You know already. Come on. We all know what Miguel thinks. He thinks it's gonna be a 6-0 for Clem in a best of 3, every single time.
We see a prediction from Cuddle Bear. He's predicting Australia 2-1 this time.
Oh. You know what? That might be a little bit of favoritism as well. Of course, Cuddle Bear having to fight off against Australia quite a couple of times in the past, and he knows the struggles. He knows those struggles.
Yeah. Well, Cuddlebear is also proclaiming himself as the biggest Clem fan. I think you're gonna have to duke it out with Miguel.
It's not true. It's not true. It is very clearly Miguel. Anyway, yeah, we'll have to wait and see here what really unfolds before us, of course. I mean, I was expecting Innovation to take that one easily as well. Versus Zest, but Zest, you know what, showing up with some crazy builds. Nothing to hide, just playing the best series that he can, I suppose. And really tearing Innovation a new one there. He completely he completely skipped the High Templar tech, didn't he? He just went straight up for the Colossi and the Disruptors.
Yeah, I think he mixed in a few DTs within both games.
Yeah.
I even got Blink DTs in the second game, which is really rad to see. But some really well, nice, I guess, DT play in the first game. And then at the second game, just overall solid defense against the Widowmine drop, and then just a good late game, superior late game compared to Innovation.
Yep. No. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. That was off the back, of course, Innovation taking a little bit of damage at the start as well. Not really being able to stop Zest from getting there in that late game composition either, right? He tried to do the Widowmine drop with the Drilling Claws. He tried to slow him down with a couple of pushes. He killed off the Nexus 1 or 2 times, but that was the 4th base, so... You know what, Zest already having more than enough really to feed that economy there, and... You know what, Innovation, he made it look very close a couple of times afterwards still. It just barely wasn't enough. Just barely wasn't enough. Anyway, France is ready, as always, is what Miguel says. He knows. Alright. Trying to buddy up with Clem here, it seems.
Yeah, he's clearly biased.
Alright. Anyway. Here we go. The loser match after this, of course, the winner of this one is going to be having to play against Innovation. So I'm not quite sure how much of a winner you can call yourself at that point, but we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, can either of these pull their way through and then also beat the one and only Innovation? We'll have to wait and see. In the top right side, we have the Team Liquid player. He's the red Terran, the Frenchman. He is Clem.
And spawning at the bottom left, we have the blue Protoss player representing Alpha X. It is Australia.
Australia, you know what? He's no slouch. He can definitely take some games off of the top end Terran players as well. His PVT is reasonable, I'd say. His PVC is probably a little bit better. Which is surprising, because a lot of people say Protoss at the moment should be able to beat Terran in that meta, especially the late game, and then they shouldn't do as well against Zerg. But Estrella, a little bit of a character of his own, right? He seems to kind of switch those rules upside down and be like, you know what, I'm just kind of doing my own thing, and Apparently, Protoss is really good against Zerg, and, you know, sometimes I struggle a little bit against Terran, but it might just be because, again, you know what, he's never really been able to play against those real top-notch Terran players, in a way, right? He's not been able to play that much against Innovation, Maruk, all those Korean Terrans that have always just been in a completely different breed of animal.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen Australia play a few PBTs. I think his PBT is kind of like 50-50 because he plays a very gateway heavy style composition, and you know, with that kind of composition, you gotta make sure you do some good damage in around the mid game because it's not really a good composition towards the late game. So I mean, if he does go for that, you know, army type, you can expect him to kind of like mass expand, get all the bunch of gateways, kind of maneuver back here, back and forth, trying to catch Clem off a position. But if Clem can survive towards the late game, then it can get a bit scary for Australia.
Yeah, which is weird, right? That does kind of seem to be the opposite of what you would normally say in the PvT matchup, but it's definitely interesting how that kind of works out with somebody as Estrella, right? Definitely his own spin to the game. Very smart player, and he's making it work. So, let's see if he can get it done here as well. Stargate is going to be his tech for this time around. I'll not be going for the overall normalcy, I'd say, with the blink upgrades so far, the standardness. Clem looks like he will be getting himself a Hellion as well. Wants to get some more scouting done. Didn't really get too much done with that Reaper alone, right? Saw the Nexus, saw a Stalker, and that's about it. So investing in, actually, he's getting more Hellions here. I thought he would transition into the Widowmine drop, but in fact, he's gonna continue onwards with that Hellion production. And that could be a big drop, actually, as well. Of course, the Hellions, I think I mention this every time I see them, but I like them better than the Widowmine drop. They just seem so much more volatile, and I'm pretty sure it was Estrella as well. Oh, Reality, thank you for that sub, my man. Go, Estrella. Exactly. But yeah, Estrella, actually, I got to cast with him not that long ago, and he mentioned as well that, you know, the overall Hellion aggression seems to be a little bit harder to deal with because it just they're so much more mobile, right? They can get behind your mineral line, and even if you then pull them away, that is sometimes an even worse thing that you could do, because then they stack up, right? Oh, actually,
yeah,
Clem isn't even gonna drop them in the base. He's just gonna go for it. Well, this is very interesting. Okay, wants to go for the Marine drop first and foremost. Estrella not moving those Phoenixes into position in time. So all of the Marines do manage to get out here. That's a lot of Marines right now wailing away at those probes. They are not being pulled as the Hellions are now in the natural base, trying to take the opportunity here, expecting those probes to be pulled. And this is too much damage already here for the blue Protoss, I'd say. Taking 16 workers worth of damage. That's a bit ridiculous. That's quite a ton.
Yeah, that's a bit ouch.
It's a severe burn, I'd say. I mean, if this was comparable to a sunburn right now, we would have a bright red Estrella.
Yeah, I think Australia didn't wear any sunscreen today. So looks like he's gonna suffer a huge, massive worker loss. And yeah, just look at the income tab there, or the graph. Ooh, just all red.
Wait, hold up. I'm having a stroke myself as well. Anyway, yeah, he's gonna be able to recreate an entire second Estrella with the amount of skin that he's gonna be shedding pretty soon here. Because of that severe burn. But anyway, I mean, obviously, Clam getting himself in a great position now because of this. We do have the robotics bay coming down with the robotics facility already having been constructed. Estrella not tapping out of this one just quite yet. That third base timing, yeah, you know what, it's around the same time as Clem's. Probably not what you want to see as a Protoss, but it's not horribly behind either, so that is nice. A lot of chrono being invested in trying to get that work account back at a reasonable supply right now. As the Phoenix is coming in around one more time, killing off some of those Marines here. We'll be able to minimize the amount of stuff that Clem can send across the map to get this push going, as he wants to kind of use this moment in time, of course, to secure the movements of that third base. As is per usual with the Terrans. Nice pick off there, actually. Gets a Widow Mine. Might be able to get 2 more Marines here. A little bit low on the energy, but you know what? Overall, doing good job with those Phoenixes.
Oh, this is going to be a pretty scary push because Clem does have an army supply lead, but also has the +1 upgrade advantage. Now Australia, he's about to pop up first Colossus, but that Colossus I don't believe has thermal. Yeah, it doesn't have thermal lance upgrade. So this is going to be a pretty difficult hold here. But if he can hold, then he will have at least a base advantage. He does have 4 bases up and running.
He's doing pretty good so far. Not overextending into the siege tank there. The siege tank not in range either to shoot the Nexus here, right? So, oh, he doesn't have vision on the high ground there for a moment. Estrella realizing and moving in here. Taking a massive advantage because of this. Clem, on the other hand, was he trying to do a drop on this left side? I'm not quite sure. Does look like one of those medevacts did get shot a little bit here. And Estrella does seem to be aware that this was here. Anyway, that was a great engagement.
Yeah, I think he was trying to drop at the natural at the same time because his army at the third base looked pretty small. He only had 1 tank there, so Australia was able to defend and push it back. And now he's the one that have 4 bases compared to 3, so he can continue macroing up. But there's still a little bit of a question here coming from Clem on the right side.
Yeah, indeed, there is. It's just not really getting anywhere so far. We have to... I'm very impressed with Estrella. I know he's been doing incredibly well recently. He has been practicing in Korea, guys. He has been taking games off of really tough Koreans as well. He's just an insane player, right? He beats... he beat Elasa 2-0. He beat Trap as well 2-0. He's really been on a roll recently. And he's showing it here once again. Getting himself with quite a disadvantaged work account there at the start. Still being able to bring the pain to Clem here. Will he be able to keep this going though? I mean, extended thermal lance is about to finish up as that charge is about halfway. Gonna have to wait and see.
Just finished as well, so they're gonna be on even upgrades during this engagement if Clem decides to attack.
Yep. For sure. Anyway. There is, another, actually, no, that's not a drop. That's just an SEV building a supply depot. Thought from unless another drop coming in here. But not gonna be the case. Clem just kind of prepping for that 4th base himself as well. Alright, yeah. Wants to have a spotter supply depot there. You know what? You don't see enough spotting supply depots from Terrans, right? I'd say. It's just one of those things. It's about the same investment, I suppose, as the Protoss, although the Protoss can send that probe immediately backwards as soon as they plop it down. You have a bit of a commitment with that SCV having to stay there for the construction. But overall, they are quite useful to have around.
Yeah, I think most Terran will probably kind of prefer sending a Marine instead. That's only 50 minerals compared to 100.
Yeah.
And Zealot, there's Zealot costs Protoss has Zealots that cost 100 minerals, so it kind of costs the same as Pylon. So sometimes you see more Pylon spotters instead from coming from Protoss. But let's hold that thought. There's a huge engagement here at the south side, and so far the Colossus are still surviving as these shield batteries are regenerating the shields.
Indeed, they are. Yeah, of course, people, they, as you said, they like to use those Marines. It does, of course, on a big map like Eternal Empire, if you have Marines everywhere, it can start to cost you a bit in the supply, so you're gonna not have an as scary maxed out army. It's gonna be slight, but you know what, every little bit matters in those situations. So I can kind of see why that would be one of the reasons why you wouldn't want to, you know what, kind of as Well, you wouldn't want to have those around, but it is a small investment. Anyway, a big engagement here. Disruptors, Colossite trying to get on top of this Terran army here, but nice micro from Clem moving backwards. There's the two Disruptors immediately targeted down, and once again, Clem showing his superiority against those Disruptors, knowing exactly what to do, to engage or to run away. And there you have it. This is getting rather ridiculous here. Is he going to be able to push on through? I'm not quite sure. He might be. I mean, there's only stocks remaining here. The blink micro needs to be absolutely incredible, and there's no blink yet. There it is. Okay. Is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? More zealots being wiped in. 10 more zealots. That should be just about enough here. With the army of Clan being so low, overstimmed continuously, trying to push in and push out. We do have Australia still holding on, but, I mean, look at the overall supply.
Yeah, more important,
favorite
look at
position.
the units lost. So much more resources lost for Australia, too.
Oof. Yeah, that is in quite a nasty situation there. So when you see if this is gonna start breaking Australia here, I wouldn't be too surprised, honestly. The army has been healed up again. There's a single Disruptor here. There's a couple of Dark Templars as well. Australia looks like to be taking a bit of a page out of the book of Zest of those previous games. Although, you know what, he has been known to mix in a couple of Dark Templar himself as well, now and again. Cleanse, stims forward. We'll be able to get reasonably in a good position here with those Liberators, of course, helping out quite a bit. Disruptor's not going to be allowed to really go forward to get those hits that they want to. Trying to blink on top of the Liberators right now, getting rid of them, and once again, as you know what, Clem having massive just overall splits against the Disruptors, and there you have it. Once more, Clem showing his strength in that late game TVP.
Yeah, I mean, once again, showing his dominance on the anti-disruptors. I think if you're going against Clem, you probably need like 5 or more disruptors in order to make it work, because he just snipes those disruptors with such ease. It's really impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, I would be so scared every time when I do play Terran and I'm up against Disruptors. I'm like, can I snipe this? And then that half a second of like kind of doubt or something like that, you know, you're just like, oh, I guess I couldn't. I guess I couldn't. Not in time anyway. And yeah, I mean, it's not just right-clicking on those Disruptors, right? First and foremost, you need to get your army a little bit more forward so you actually have multiple rows of bioforces to shoot the Disruptor, and then you can really target it down very quickly. So it's not as simple as just kind of clicking on the Disruptors, right? Because then you're going to have this small edge of units and then blocking everything behind that. It is, in fact, you kind of need to stutter step forwards on top of those Disruptors, and like, Clem is just insane at this. And, like, not even that, just targeting them down like that, right? With the stutter step micro forwards at the same time, but also just realizing, like, when he can't get them, right? Suddenly, it's like he splits its units 4 different ways, 4 different directions, and the Disruptor ball is just kind of in the middle, like, what? What's happening? And I've not seen a Protoss player really being able to keep up with that micro just yet with this Disruptor bolts, and then still be able to get a lot of value consistently. Well, sometimes if it's already too late, right? If Clem's like, alright, I got this, then he might not try as hard, or he might try to do some more macro behind it as the fight is going on. And then some Disruptor shots tend to sometimes hit, but it doesn't really matter anymore at that point.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's very impressive. Very impressive to see Clem with these types of things. Anyway, here we go, guys. In the bottom right side, we have ourselves the blue Protoss. He's representing Alpha X. Will he be able to get himself tied up in this series again? He is Australia.
And spawning here at the top left, representing the country of France. He is the red Terran player from Team Liquid. It is Clem.
Alright. Well, scout for Australia.
I mean,
We've
I
talked
gotta
about
say,
this often,
oh,
right?
sorry.
On Nightshade, it's a very map favored for the Blink Stalkers, right?
Yeah.
And in a way, I think this might be one of the builds that I would love to see Estrella do maybe a little bit more often against Terrans, in a way, because he's very good at that control of his gateway forces. He loves gateway forces, right? Blink and stuff. I mean, if he does the builds from parting a bit more, right, with the 4 gate, with the blink, I think he's one of the players that will be able to make that work rather often as well.
Yeah, I agree. Especially on this map at the spawning location, because Clem spawned at the top side, so all the add-ons on the buildings are gonna spawn at the right side of the building. So
Mhm.
that means that Australia can blink up and snipe those add-ons much more easier if compared to if he was spawned at the bottom side. So I think if this was a situation to go blink stalker play, I would say this is the game to go for it.
Yeah, for sure. I would agree. Clem, the famous hunter of the adepts with that Reaper. Will never let them go for free. Might actually get a probe or two. So when is C? Okay, now the Stalker does for some out. He wants to keep it alive, so he runs out of there. He wants to come back later on at some point to re-scout once again. Did he see the Twilight Council? He didn't. So that's a big deal. The Adept here not getting in time to cancel the production of that command center, unfortunately. But, you know, where's this Reaper? Okay, gonna help out with cleaning up this Adept here, of course. Once again, we're gonna be able to see this Reaper micro from Clem. It's one of my favorite moments in StarCraft 2, seeing Clem micro a Reaper against an Adept.
Would you say is in the level of Beyond?
It's close, man. I think, you know what, Beyond is something mystical on its own because he's capable of doing it with a lot of Reapers at the same time, right? And then keep a lot of them alive at the same time, so moving backwards with everything that is low HP and continuously preserving the Reaper counts. And I've not seen anybody do it as well as he's done. But the single Reaper micro versus an Adept, I doubt you'd see Bjorn or anyone for that matter do it a lot better than Clem is capable of doing himself.
Yeah.
He sees those 3 Stalkers. Kind of an inclination that should give a Terran player that it will be Blink.
Alright, so we do see that the tech lab is being added on to the starport here now. So it's going to be interesting to see whether he does go for Banshee play or if he's going to use it just to get Raven out. What do you think he's going to go for?
There is a Widowmine drop here coming in.
Oh.
It did immediately get spotted, but Raven or Banshee, I'm not quite sure. Oh, he just switches it around. That's a possibility too, of course. I don't mind either of them, right? The Banshee opening does alright against Protoss. Maybe not in this situation because he is up against the Blink. I like to see Ravens, honestly. I think Ravens is a big deal for Terrans and sometimes not as utilized in the TVP matchup. But then again, they are also rather difficult to control, right? If you put them on your entire army hotkey, they tend to just kind of move in front of the army and then get sniped by Stalkers as well. So yeah, I don't mind overall Clem not taking either of those units.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to just stick with tank and marine, mixing in with some marauders as well. Now there is no dirt command center here. There's also the +1 upgrade, so this kind of signals to me that Clem is looking to possibly go for a +1 attack timing, especially with the medevacs coming out from those starport pretty soon. So Australia might actually needs to throw down some shoe batteries to help in the defense, but also he's gonna have to throw down, which it looks like, a bunch of gateways to help defend this push.
Which is what he is doing. He's getting himself the Colossus out now as well. Let's hope he doesn't forget about extended thermal lance. Would like to see that one in the production tab as well. Very often you see actually Estrella not getting that as quickly as other players, right? And I'm still not completely certain if he's doing this on purpose.
Maybe he wants to just give us heart attacks or something.
Maybe, yeah. Alright, well, this is a terrifying amount of supply for Clem now moving across the map here.
Yeah.
Force fields need
Remember,
to buy a lot of time.
yeah, remember there's a Widow Mine drop in the back as well, so we'll keep an eye on that to see if that commences while this attack is happening at the same time.
Yep. That means that a couple of those stocks are still going to be pinned to try and help out against the Widow Mines. So it doesn't look like Estrella is paying attention to it. Oh, just in the nick of time, but not really getting the splits that he wanted to. Losing infrastructure as well in this natural base here is going to take quite a couple of probe damage there as well. Widow Mines on this attack. Being able to do alright against the Zealots here. The siege tank does get cleaned up finally, but there's still 10 workers here going down very quickly for Estrella. And you know what? Also kind of losing quite a couple of those gateway forces. So not only does he take damage on his economy, he also takes not the greatest of trades overall, I'd say.
Yeah, I think Terran really can abuse that kind of cliff area. It just makes the maneuvering of those charge lot really awkward. You gotta pre-split against it to make sure you get on top of the tanks, and the Colossus also does the splash damage on the bio units. And here we go. Looks like you see another kind of catch here out in the middle. Does catch a little bit of bio force, but not too much.
So a Zealot run by getting caught on the other side. So 2 small engagements there, but you know what? Handled pretty well there by Clem, I would say again. I mean, looking at the Unisource step. Is that what you're gonna say?
No, I was just
Jinx,
gonna ask. No, I was just gonna ask. Looking at the state of the game, who would you kind of give the edge to right now?
Well, I kind of got to give it to Clem. I mean, the work count is equal. The base count is fairly equal as well, right? And overall, I mean, the army supply in favor for Clem. Yes, we do have the 3 Colossi, and we have not seen a single one of them die just yet, but we're already seeing the counter coming out for Clem here. He's building 4 Vikings at the same time. He's already prepping with Ghost, right? So that Templar Archives that Estrella is building. I'm not sure how much that is going to be able to get done here in this situation. And yeah, I'm just going to have to say Clem's looking very tough here. I think Estrella is going to have to be able to kind of do the run-by attacks similar as we saw Zest do without dying at the same time, which might be a bit of a tough ask.
Yeah, I mean, he does have at least the Warp Prism there, so if he wanted to, he can fly into the main base, try to get some Zealot Warpins in there. But he's got to probably before that worry about this incoming attack. Possibly, it looks like he's just poking in and out.
What would you say about just keeping that Warpism there as well? We feel like just warping in, kind of what we saw Zest do, right, in that game on Eternal versus Innovation. I mean, that was the same Warpism continuously, right?
Yeah. That time around, that they did have DTs. Zest had DTs, but I mean, the same logic applies here. But nice EMP there. A lot of the Colossus are weakened. There is one Disruptors, which I'm guessing is not going to do too much against someone like Clem.
Yeah, this is looking rough. That army supply for Estrella falling rather rapidly here. I mean, the Disruptors are pretty much only keeping Clem a little bit further at bay, but not really killing off anything here. Once again, Clem is just too much to handle for the Blue Protoss. It looks like 90 army supply versus 30 right now. Oh, nope, never mind. That was so close. Was
there any doubt, man? Was there any doubt?
I mean, no.
It's Clem here we're talking about.
So it's like, yeah, right, this is gonna get close, but I'll get it. It's like 0.2 seconds remaining on that disruptor shot, but I'm pretty sure I'll get that disruptor before it goes off. There's no problem there. He's so cool. He's like, yeah. Man, oh man. All right, well that means we're gonna be having another TVT here.
Yeah, and looks like Miguel's heart is jumping with joy as Clem does survive. Unfortunately, that means Austria does get knocked out of the of the tournament.
Yep.
But at the very least, he goes home with some money. I
Yeah.
believe $75 or $100.
Yeah, he had a pretty good run, right, as well, I'd say. Honestly, getting through that first group, probably already something that he mentioned himself as well, right? He didn't think he would advance in that Group 8 that he already went past.
Yeah, I think that was probably the biggest surprise of the tournament so far.
Yeah. Yeah, and over here in this second group of his, again in the Group 8, didn't really work out for him, unfortunately. Actually, yeah, well, the games to success, they were just a bit unlucky, right? It's never really got to a moment where we really got to see Estrella go up full force versus Zest there, I'd say.
Well, yeah, especially that first game. It's like,
yeah.
First two adepts came in, like, nope, GG, that's it, I'm not playing.
Yep. And then I still think, like, that second game that they played, just a small error of judgment, over-committing to a fight, blinking forwards, on top of a Stalker force that was bigger than his, and taking such an insufficient trade. And then afterwards, right, if you take an insufficient trade in a mirror matchup specifically, when you're both making the same units, right, it is so incredibly difficult to really make a comeback in that, because your production is going to be kind of similar to one another, so your opponent is always going to have more units, basically, at that point. And, yeah, that's what we saw happening there, so a bit unfortunate that for Estrella, but you know what, we do still have Zest, of course, the first player that advanced, so definitely proving himself there. Zest being the best again in this group, so maybe he is the best. Maybe he is the best. It's a wild ride for him. It's always
living up to this.
Yeah, exactly. It's always a weird one to guess. Anyway, but yeah, Clem in Innovation. Which one of these are gonna be coming out through here, would you say?
Well, if it's similar to the first time around, I think Innovation has a pretty solid advantage in terms of just the dominance that he had over Clem. But hopefully Clem can come up with something different this time around. We do see that someone in the chat saying Clem has been playing since 12 hours or so, which is insane. Playing for that long? Wait. Must be tired or something.
What has he all been doing today then? That's I don't know. We might have to talk to Clem about heart disease and how it sometimes is contributed to a lack of sleep, because man, honestly,
well,
he needs to take care of
young,
himself, man. Yeah, he is, but I mean, you know, sometimes you just hear those weird stories. As long as he's drinking and eating properly, right? That's the main thing. As long as he's not just been playing for 12 hours, kind of disregarding having a bit of liquid and a bit of solidness going down the food pipe. I don't know, the throat, I don't know, into his stomach. That's probably the better way to say that. Anyway, yeah, I mean, you should be okay overall, but...
Well, he's part of Team Liquid, so I think he has the liquid part down. Just gotta get some solid food in. He should be fine.
I know it's 2 p.m. in France, but, I mean, Clem, he sometimes, I don't know how he does it, but he played all night long. And he also... I mean, sometimes, I believe the previous games as well, right? In the other group that we had him play, he was playing that one off of 3 hours of sleep. So he seems to be doing this quite a bit.
Yeah.
I'm worried. I'm starting to be a worried mother for Clem here. I want him to, you know, keep this going. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, well, Innovation Clem. I mean... Again, definitely Innovation the favorite here. Clem is gonna either have to step up his game or bring out some weird builds here. And to be fair, Innovation, he can't really show his... If he does have something special for TVT that he recently discovered or decided that he wants to implement into his games, He's not going to be able to do it right now because, of course, he is going to have to play against Cure in the GSL pretty soon. So that is still something we have to take into consideration as well. That might give Clem a little bit of a heads up in this overall matchup. But we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, stuff is happening already as things are moving across the map here. Let's talk about these plays here. Relatively short. In the bottom left side, the Frenchman, Team Liquid's Clem.
And spawning at the top right, you have the red Terran player from Kaiser Gaming. It is Innovation.
Okay, well, I mean, at least the... Was that with you as well? What was the game that we saw? Which plays were that? Where they both tried to do the proxy with the barracks? And the SCVs met each other in the middle, and they both of them were like, "What are you doing here, you cheesy man?"
I forgot which series that was.
I think it was Innovation as well, right? Innovation versus Dream, perhaps?
It must have been no. Innovation didn't play against any Terrans, so
was it a different tournament?
It must have been
Time.
Dream
Innovation for Time?
Yeah. No, they didn't play.
They didn't play either, did they?
I think it was Dream versus Clem.
Dream versus... No.
Maybe?
No, I think they were both speaking Korean.
That's the only group that has 2 Terrans in it.
Maybe it was a different tournament then. Maybe it was the pro circuits.
Possibly.
I think so. I distinctly remember one of them being Innovation and the other one being another Korean, and then they said something to the extent of like a real man commits to his cheese or something like that. As both of them moved backwards with his SCVs, their SCVs. Anyway, yeah, Clem is going into 3 racks here. Innovation only the 2 racks commitments, but you know what? He doesn't really have anything at home here. He will most likely get himself a quicker factory, I would assume. We'll have to wait and see. There's 2 Reapers already in the main base here for Clem, though. That is not that great considering they're the wrong color. Yep, those SCVs are in a lot of trouble right now. And oh my god, Innovation gets on top of the Reaper here. Is not going to be able to finish him off, though. Might be able to give Clem a little bit of a leeway here to come back into this, but already, of course, only 1 worker actually dying here. And there goes the Reaper. Alright, well, Clem on the other side. This is a weird one. Imagine both of them just lifting up their command centers here now as well. And then we have this weird stalemate scenario.
This might just be a straight out just Reaper cleanup here.
What if we have a tie? I mean, if both of them now lift up their buildings, right, and go to some dead space, neither of them is gonna be able to build a Viking. It's gonna be a tie, right? It should be a tie.
I mean, I could definitely imagine it happening that way.
Should be a tie.
Yeah, I mean, all the workers are pretty much gone. Now, the thing for Clem is he does have two SCVs with his attack, so he still has 2 workers left over. Innovation has 0 because, I mean, all his workers are just where I guess he didn't send too much workers over. But he does have, let's see how many units does they have, how many Reapers. Okay, 8 Reapers for Clem versus 7 for Innovation. So I think Clem, just because of the 3 barracks, might be able to edge it over. I'm not sure.
Wait, are ties not a thing anymore? Everyone's saying it won't be a tie.
Well, if Clem can...
They're saying it goes off by points now.
Oh.
Is that a thing? Is that what we're doing?
Clem doesn't have any workers or orbitals, so he can't mine. If Innovation can somehow clean these Reapers up, he still has a orbital for energy to mine. So
with mules,
yeah. So he can later on build possibly a starport, but Clem, he has no way of beating Innovation. Or wait, let's see. Yeah, he has no way of beating Innovation. He doesn't have any orbital.
It's a bit smaller, yeah.
Well,
yeah,
as I say,
actually.
Clem does have 2 SCVs, so if you can clean it up. But look at the unit tab. He's got 10. Innovation got 10 Reapers to the 8. So I think Innovation probably has this.
Clem's
It's gonna
micro,
come down
though.
to the micro. Yep, it's gonna come down to the micro. There's
so
one random Marine here.
The Marine. Okay, first, actually, both of them trading. Oh, okay, yeah, that's it. I think Clem taking a bit too much damage on his Reapers there. That is gonna be it. Yeah. All right. No tie. As the Reapers do still want to kill each other. There we have it. GG. Innovation taking game number 1. That was a ridiculous one. 2 racks bigger than 3 racks. Yeah, it seems that way. You know, it does have mules. Yeah, that's right. That is right. Sorry guys, I got excited for the overall idea of a tie being a thing, and I just saw what I wanted to see. I just
Well, if Innovation didn't have a orbital and both players had their SCVs killed, and they had no way of making any more SCVs because they wasted all their resources in Reapers, then I could see a tie. But yeah, it's Innovation would just, I guess, just with 2 racks didn't have to commit to too much buildings, and was able to have the orbital as well, so was able to pull out along with the kind of the nice micro at the end.
Yep. He did have 2 more Reapers, to be fair, but you know, it's still, of course, with again, when you're playing against someone like Clem, I'm sure that Clem against a lesser Terran would still be able to win that Reaper versus Reaper battle. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Maybe it would have benefited him to not have that lag going on the US server here. But you know what? Innovation has that as well. But I'd say if you have the superior numbers, right? I think that a little bit of a benefit to you, right? A small advantage. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for supporting us. We're Alpha X. We are a big, large community with, well, consisting of players, managers, all sorts of people working behind the scenes to get these games sorted for you. We love doing this stuff, and we very much appreciate all the support that you guys give us. We wouldn't be here without you, honestly. We do have some sponsors, but the majority of, I'd say, the income that we do get concerning making these types of events and stuff like that, of course, do come from helping, well, people helping us out with, for example, either codes or donations or Twitch subs, that type of stuff. Anyway, much appreciated, guys. Let's hop into game number 2 between Innovation and Clem.
All right, here spawning at the top left, we have the red Terran player looking to make it out of this group. It is Innovation.
Yep, 1 point on the board for him right now. He's sending another SCV across the map here. Naughty, naughty. Anyway, in the bottom right side, we have ourselves a blue Terran fighting for the Blue Horse team. He is none other than the Frenchman. He is Clem.
And you know what? I had to say this is not a surprise because we did mention earlier on that Innovation has a TVT matchup in his GSL group.
Yep.
In his GSL matchup. So he's probably going to want to conserve his the majority of his secret builds. So if you notice that in the first time around, as well as this second time around, he's been heavily relying on the double racks Reaper build opening. So he's not really revealing too much, and has been able to take out the first series and hopefully potentially take out Clem in the second series.
Yeah. To be fair though, as well, I feel like Innovation might be one of those players that's like, yeah, it's alright. I'm just gonna show my standard play. I'm gonna just do whatever's, and you know what, against Cure, I'm sure it will work out as well, right? He's one of those players just with that much confidence. That just might not be caring too much about this type of stuff, but we'll have to wait and see.
The first Reaper here. The first Reaper in game. Now they attacked at the same time. It's going to be interesting to see who wins this battle. It looks like Clem deciding to retreat, but I think it could have been actually a tie there.
Yeah, actually it's pretty good that he does retreat back to that high ground. He needs that slight advantage now versus 2 Reapers against this 1 Reaper, of course. Will be a second Reaper coming in for him relatively shortly, but a 3rd Reaper for Innovation, of course. I just want to go back to that one point. I mean, we Innovation and his build orders, right? We have seen him do this a couple of times, honestly, in online events as well, where he, for example, that build with the triple Rex and the factory in a TVP matchup, right? That we saw him using versus Zest. That was a build that I saw first and foremost in an online event from Innovation. And then he started doing it in GSL as well when it worked out. So, yeah, I really do get kind of the sense that Innovation doesn't really care too much about that type of stuff. It's like, yeah, you might know what I'm capable of doing, but I'm capable of doing so much that it is impossible to guess actually what's going to start hitting you. And then even if you do, it's still going to be executed so incredibly well that it probably doesn't matter. Probably doesn't matter that you know.
It's kind of like in sports, right? Like you have a one dominant team where all the teams like scouts them. They know their kind of their game plan, but the question is, can you stop them because they're so good at what they do that they remain dominant.
Exactly. All right. Well, three Hellions and a Reaper. Checking out the front door of Innovation. Clem just knocking, trying to sell some cookies and realizing, you know what, they're shooting at us. Probably not the best time to try and do that. We'll send a Liberator across the map, though. Might get scouted by those Reapers, but well, some weird adjustment, actually. Clem deciding to go to the natural base instead, and will he avoid getting scouted here? Yes, he will. Nice turn of fortune there for Clem. We'll be able to set this up, deny a little bit of mining here. I'm gonna make it a little bit rather, well, more difficult for Innovation, of course, to keep everything going. Alright, well, with a quick Cyclone there, should be able to let that continue onwards. Not only a small spike there for the income graph there. Okay, well. Both these players giving it a roll. Somehow, Innovation, though, of course, ahead with 4 workers. Because Innovation.
And that's along with the much quicker third command center. So, because usually when you see a Terran goes for a much earlier command center, third command center, they're a bit behind in the workers. But Innovation with a really nice macro play. Not only does he have the faster, quick third CC, but also a worker lead, which is really not good for Clem. Clem will have to definitely do a good amount of damage with this push here in order to even up the economy.
Yeah, he definitely has a good amount of supply, right? He has 3 siege tanks versus 1. He has the 4 Vikings versus just a single Raven. And he has the Liberator there as well, right? So definitely has the equipment that he needs to try and get some something rolling into his favor here. We'll be setting up against those infamous the 3 Reapers actually coming in again into that natural base. 2 Vikings having to land there. Helping out with that. Alright, yeah, here we have the infamous location for those siege tanks. Setting up shop right close to that natural base. And from here we'll be able to shoot away at a couple of those SCVs. They do overextend a slight bit.
Oh man, this is really tough for Innovation because Clem has a bunch of Vikings. He has 6 Vikings, while Innovation doesn't really have any. He only has a Cyclone, a Raven that can possibly shoot up with air, shoot up to the air. But with that many Vikings, Innovation might get slowly contained back here at the natural.
Yeah, especially of course with that Liberator as well. And you know what, the overall lost mining here for Innovation, definitely nothing to scoff at, right? It's definitely going to start stacking up here. I mean, that was a good half a minute or something, where Innovation just was mining off of 1 base, and Clem was mining off of 2 bases. And we're going to see that being reflected pretty soon in the overall army count. Oh, there's a lock on with the Cyclone on the Liberator. We'll not be able to get it, though. These 2 siege tanks on the high ground, they have me a little bit worried, Snoopy. I feel like that is a prime position to get your Liberator sieged up. And try to force those off the high grounds, and there you go. That's exactly what he does. There is a double drop of Medavacs coming across as well, the map here. And Innovation needs to hurry it up. He needs to relieve pressure from the front here. And he really wants to do that by just continuing onwards. With that drop here, the 2 Medavacs actually not that much remaining in the main base here for Clem. He's sending everything across here, all his reinforcements, and that's going to be a tough one to clean up. Even that siege tank on the wrong side of the factory coming out there will be immediately taken apart. And Clem's gonna have to, you know what, kind of decide here, right? Do I just quickly commit to a full frontal fight here? And actually being met by Innovation in the same manner here. Right, is it enough though? Is it enough for Clem to hold on? I don't think so. GG is called. Somehow, someway, Innovation. Man, oh man, it looked so good for Clem, right? It looked amazing for Clem with that attack, having the air dominance, having the siege tank count, having pretty much everything. But Innovation, playing it very patient, moving backwards, slowly but surely, sending two medevacs across the map because, well, apparently that's what you can do with your Innovation. You get a lot of stuff done.
Well, the thing is, because Innovation had tanks of his own, he knew that the only way Clem can push in is by doing a slow push. But while a slow push is happening, you know, you can just load up your medevacs full of Marines, go across the map, and Innovation had stim while Clem did not have stim research. Yep. So yeah, he was able to kind of close out the game by dropping the 2 medevacs. But also there was a little bit of mistake there by Clem. He actually unsieged all 4 of his tanks there at the last second, and that's just when the exact time when Innovation was pulling all his SCVs to clean up the rest of Clem's army. So well done there by Innovation.
Will Fromerth, thank you for that. Will Fromerth. Fromerth. Thank you for those 500 bits. But yeah, you make a good point there. Honestly, the stim and the worker pool. I'm kind of looking at the army graph there from the end, and it looks like, wait, how did this happen? I'm quickly gonna show you guys here. Look at this. Look at how far that army lead was for Clem here, and then it just drops. It just evaporates. It's nuts. I don't know how Innovation keeps doing stuff like this, but I mean, this is why he's always winning.
Yeah, I think that kind of shows what we've been saying all along, right? Like Innovation's TVT is just so superior, while Clem not at that level yet.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Anyway, guys, thank you all for joining us. Thank you for supporting us. It is incredibly appreciated. We're a big team. Alpha X has a lot of members, a lot of people that play for us, right? We have some players. We have people of administrators for the Discords, for Twitch, moderators, stuff like that. Just people organizing tournaments for us, social media stuff. It's a big collaboration of a lot of people with a lot of passion for StarCraft 2. And we wouldn't be here without the support of the community as well, helping us out and doing a lot of stuff for us. So that is, you know, that's just very much appreciated, guys. It means the world to us. And yeah, thank you for all the follows, thank you for all the subs, and thank you for you know, all the supports. Anyway, we're gonna raid you guys. We're gonna give yourselves some showtime. And let's hope that's gonna put him in a good mood here. Alright, Showtime SC2. Is it Showtime SC2? Need to make sure to write this correctly. SC2 Showtime, sorry. I knew that, of course. I'm a big Showtime. Let me double check that one actually. SC2 Showtime. There he is. Alright, yeah. Let me copy paste that to ensure that I don't send you off to some weird random place. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been really Kozan. You can go check me out over here. And yeah, Sushi, you have any last words? Sorry, Snoopy.
Oh, so basically, sorry. Thank you everyone for watching, and also make sure to catch us in Group B of the round of 8 here at May 29th at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, as well as a special thank you to CynicalDeath for all his hard work.
Yeah, CynicalDeath, you the man, you the man. All right, guys, see you later. Have a good one. Say hi to Showtime for us, and yeah, see you later. Bye-bye.